There we go. I think it's going to take this time.
Appreciation.
Speaking of eating the rich, welcome back, everybody.
Woo! We're not eating Katerina.
I
She's
don't
one
know
of the
that.
good ones.
I don't
I
know
mean,
that.
that's what you say.
Listen, I don't know what you guys are going to do. That's the beauty
You
of
guys
D&D.
don't even know who I am. I don't even know who I am.
That's a good point.
How can I have a socioeconomic class when I don't even know who I am on the inside?
That is the ultimate leveler. You are all the same in depth.
Although you do taste different with different sauces.
There you go.
Well, last we left our heroes, we had returned to the city of Rockdale upon clearing out the Knoll's Den, where Yuki and Ren had some unfortunate curse befall them. You guys made it back to Rockdale, where you were able to meet with a cleric of the god Valcour, who, after some bribery and tall tales, provided a service that removed the curse from Yuki and Ren. You collected your remaining bounty from the Knolls. Oh wait, I don't think you did that yet, did you? No, you didn't do that yut, actually. You didn't do that yet
No.
because you came in late at night.
Right, they were closed.
Right.
We were going to go out, and then we found out we had a benefactor ready to meet us.
Right. So, but you did give your work friend her gold. You retired to the Siren Song for the night when you realized that you were told that there was a benefactor who was spotting your stay for the evening. That night, Narco and Jade had a little bit of a three-way lesson, which turned into a two-way lesson.
What loud is my three-way?
And in the morning, as you were having breakfast, there was a knock on the door saying that the benefactor was ready to meet you. And as you exited the building, stood none other than Katerina von Grutzner herself, Naruko's mother, who led you all to a nice little cafe outside.
And everyone was internally freaking fuck out.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a freak out moment.
Ren's not. He's chill.
Everyone but Ren was freaking the fuck out.
Yuki's pretty chill too. She's here for it.
Okay, maybe it's just Jade freaking the fuck out.
Yeah. Naruto's
One thing.
So we bring you back to the city of Rockdale. Katerina von Grutzner welcomes you with arms open wide, and she says, "Please come, join me, won't you?" And she leads you over to a little cafe on the square with some outside seating. Already set up is a table to accommodate the lot of you. Some tea and coffee and nice little pastries have been set out for your enjoyment. Katerina motions for you to join her, and she says, "Please come, sit. I would like to take some time to get to know you."
Well, second breakfast.
To Reverie, as like we're just there, says, "I'm so very nervous right now, and I don't think I can feel my feet anymore. Is that normal?"
Yeah, I'm feeling about the same, so sure, it's normal, I think.
Okay, am I supposed to not say anything? She's very fancy and smart, and she's like Narco, but she's I don't know what I'm supposed to do and say.
I'm just gonna let Naruko take the lead.
I'll just let Narco talk, and I'm trying to try not to talk and embarrass anyone.
Professor, are you leering magically at my mother right now?
Every time that we run into someone important, they turn out to be someone they're not.
You detect no magic coming off of Katerina.
Shame.
Naoko, who probably is in a similar vein of nervous to everyone else, but is doing much better at hiding it, will take the lead and lead her friends over to the table to partake of light tea and treats. She'll sort of smile at Mother and say, "Thank you for making the trip out here, Mother. You obviously know where we have been taking up accommodations during our stay in Rockdale. Were you also at the Siren Song?"
No, I was not at the Siren Song this morning. My ship actually docked early this morning, right before sunrise, and I had gotten your letters, which is how I knew you were here, and I do thank you for the invitation. I thought, what a great opportunity to come see my daughter off before she takes the long journey off to her wedding, and I may not see you again until you're a married woman. So I figured this would be a great opportunity to come and sit and see you off and see these companions of yours that you've written to me about.
Nariko definitely gets a little bit of a twinge when Mother mentions that she might not see her until after the wedding. Because that is both a long way off, and also I would like Mom there for the actual occasion if it so happens. But she'll hide that. Mother has a lot to do, very busy. So she will. Sort of...
Unfortunately, Jade doesn't. You won't be there at the wedding to do the fancy things and all the flowers and
She
wedding
smiles
things that are
back at
supposed to
you.
happen.
She smiles back at you, Jade, and she says, "Oh no, I very much intend to be there during the ceremony. I just don't know if I would have a chance to sit and talk with her one-on-one before the ceremony is over. See,
I was so busy.
Yes, so
and this.
busy planning the
Play
wedding,
fun.
setting it up. I'm sure Nariko will
Right.
be all over the place getting herself ready, and the Goldwaters, of course, will be all over themselves. So who knows if I'll get this kind of quality time again."
Yeah, the wedding, everyone's just all over each other. I think everyone's just. I'll just sit in here while I have some fun.
Quick introductions to everyone here. This is Katerina von Grutzner, my wonderful mother, and I'm sure you can pick them out just from my descriptions prior, but for politeness' sake, there is Jade, Reverie, Yuki, the professor, and Ren. And she'll each.
Oh, it's very nice to meet you. We've heard so much about you, Nariko, and I made special friends last night, and it's really fun to see you here. Furthermore, I expected you to be here because I just heard all the things that are good.
Katerina kind of tilts her head as she looks at Jade and then back at Nariko, and she says, "Special friends?"
I'm sorry.
I'm going to roll a composure check for Nariko to see how well she can think through this.
I already rolled for a panic attack for Jade, and she didn't hit panic attack, but she didn't roll high enough to keep her mouth shut.
Cool. All right, so Narika rolled a base 17 with her wisdom save as a 19. So I'm going to say, as soon as she realized Mom was here, she started mentally counting down and figuring out what she was going to say when Jade inevitably could not keep her mouth shut.
Yep.
And she's going to put it down. She won't be able to stop from blushing a fair bit as she tries to string the words together. And she says, "Yes, well, Mother, I'm sure you noticed that I wasn't exactly the most social with my peers back in Point Pleasant, and it was hard for me to tell if that was necessarily a case of not much caring for such activities versus not having the most," she looks for the words, "interesting people to make it worthwhile."
We had a tutoring session.
Yes, get to that. Anyway, after meeting these lovely people and probably having some of the firmest friendships I ever had, Jade and I are conducting a preliminary investigation into what I do and do not find appealing about the aspects of courtship?
On my notes, on those bullet points for all the notes that I have, Noriko liked the bullet points.
I think, Narco, with your passive perception, your passive insight even, as the two of you are kind of stumbling through this conversation, you see a look of recognition in Katerina's eyes, and she kind of gives a nod, and she looks down to your teacup and kind of stirs it around a little bit with her teaspoon. For the record, she rolled a natural 20 on her insight check.
Of course, because you needed higher than a 5 to get it.
Giving her a total of 24. Yes, special friends tutoring session at the Siren song. I thought it was just an aesthetic choice. Interesting. Well, I do so hope that you enjoyed yourself there.
There is so much on the inflections of so many words, and I feel like I'm talking to an actual mom right now.
Narco kind of tries to straighten up a bit. She says, "Yes, well, we chose the Siren song originally more so as it served a nice middle ground between the more common options like the Golden Sunset and the more ostentatious areas like the Gilded Gull. Plus,
No, I had a panic
the
attack
time-
and I kind of ran there, and then they gave me a room for the night.
Discretion.
yes, they're very discreet about comings and goings. So if we did not wish to be bothered, we could rely upon such things. It turns out they also offer a variety of helpful counseling services. Anyway, yes, so Jade and I are doing some experimenting with cultivating emotional intelligence and relationship bonding exercises. She's also really, really wonderful.
Noriko's great, and she's wonderful and amazing, and she's my first special friend, and she says nothing but good things about you, and the blue tiefling was really very helpful about showing us how to hold hands.
She holds her hand up at that. And
It's like,
says,
no details, please. No details, please.
That's quite alright. I understand. You must be nervous talking about this sort of thing with your mother. I get it. I am no
Nervous talking about
fool.
health things.
Well, I am no fool. I know what the Siren song's about. I know the proprietor personally.
You know,
Naruto
SJ?
does a double take at that. I was like, wait, what?
Oh, come on now. A business as widespread as the Siren songs, you don't think I would have any kind of connection there?
Oh, yeah. She sort of like swallows a bit. It was like, that was probably rather foolish of me. I considered, yes, a very widespread business that certainly would have use of the von Grutzner services for maintaining trade between their various outposts, and hadn't heard of it before because among those more closed-minded, it would be seen as improper.
Of course. And for the record, Narco, I will say that I am glad that whatever enterprises you have set yourself out upon, you have done so at the Siren Song. It's a very reputable place. I'm happy for you, and I'm happy that you're able to, how to put this, experience these things before your wedding. I did find it slightly regrettable that I was not able to get you out of your shell while you were in Point Pleasant, but I'm glad that it seems that travel has done well for you.
Had a shell?
It's a metaphor, dear.
Narco just slides a hand underneath the table to sort of like clasp Jade's hand for support in that moment.
Jeff is holding your hand so tight right now.
Well, thank you, Mother. I've learned quite so much in just nearly a short week of just being away from home, and by the time I reach Tremonto, I'll know quite a bit more about the world and about myself. And this arrangement with the Goldwaters, I think, can be made with much more of a keen eye towards what's in the best interest for the company as well as myself.
She nods. She says, "Of course." And speaking of the Goldwaters, I have been in touch with them, and they have asked me when they might be able to expect you.
That is an excellent question that I am genuinely not sure I know myself. It seems travel has become quite a bit more complicated as of late. It's taking me a bit longer to get from point to point than anticipated. She looks to Mother and says, if a ship were going to Tremonto by way of passing through a few of the ports in Iceland, what typically is the normal time of travel it would take to reach them?
Going by way of Iceland, I would say from here, you're probably looking at about a 2-week journey.
2 weeks. My instinct is to give them a heads up of perhaps a month and a half or 2 months, just to allow for anything unexpected. I do intend to begin sending some letters off to Marcus personally to update him on my travels and to get a better understanding of who he is before I meet him. I imagine so long as I keep in regular contact, then they would be less perturbed by any delays that were to come.
Oh, make no mistake, they're not perturbed. Just simply, I don't know if maybe you could say anxious, excited at the prospect of meeting you. Although, of course, one would always enjoy the meeting sooner rather than later. But if a month to 2 months is what you need, then I shall, as they say, vamp for you.
Naruko has not heard that expression before, but she assumes that her mother knows all the cool lingo too, because of course she would. So she says, "Oh yes, that would be wonderful. Oh, I suppose I should catch you up on what transpired since the last letter, which I'm pretty sure was covering the events that happened in Dunderall before getting to Rockdale, right? I don't have them open at the moment, so I can't.
Hang on, let me pull it up and I will remind myself.
Let's see. So here's what I've been doing, just dumps a sack of ears on the table.
So I've been murdering for fun. And profit. About that.
Mainly profit.
Profit, a little bit of fun.
Community service.
Yeah.
Outreach. Community outreach. That's
outreach.
Yes, so
Community outreach.
the last letter that you sent to her, you were saying that you were planning to sail from Dunderall to Rockdale.
Gotcha.
To continue overland to Red's Wharf.
Gotcha. And the quick message I sent her when I asked her if she'd be able to come here, I didn't really do much. I didn't talk about much else. So, yeah. Naruko will explain. We arrived in Rockdale. We found out that the trade lane between here and Red's Wharf is set by gnolls. Took it upon ourselves to make the lanes a bit safer, both for our own benefit and to keep the townsfolk safe, especially once we found out that there was a curse involved. Nearly had a bad run-in with that with 2 of our compatriots. Thankfully, Temple Valkyr was able to help after some negotiations. Narco mentions that she had got to get some practice in negotiating contractors for assistance and improving employee morale. And as of right now, it appears that the problem is dealt with, so she will collect on the rest of the reward for that to help bolster the coffers, and they intend to make for Red's Wharf, arriving either today or perhaps early tomorrow if they need to take a break. She further reports that the small armory that she is carrying with her is serving quite adequately.
She nods and she seems very pleased by all this news. she has kind of a moment where you see like a light bulb goes off her head. She goes, "Oh, by the way, yes. Speaking of contracts that you've been writing, the ink is finally dried on the improvements to Dumdural, and I do have your commission from that." And she slides over a small purse that's embroidered with the von Grutzner symbol. Slides it over towards you. If you were to take it, pick it up in your hand, you feel that it is filled with coin. You would find that there is 300 gold in this purse for you.
Adding it to the party funds.
I'm not going to for a big business venture that worked out with actual. Not a buy sale that she did. Oh, so great.
Very,
Nar-
very lucrative contract too, by the way. Nice job.
Narka blushes. She says, well, it wasn't really anything. I just, you know me, when I see something that's a problem or horribly inefficient, I can't help but suggest a solution, and we can offer a solution if they're willing to expend a little bit of money for it. So
Marco's helped everywhere she's ever went.
Katerina smiles. She says, "Yes, of course. I've heard of the work being done at Dumdural. I'm sure something will solidify there soon as well. It's impressive. I'm not even sure that Kenneth would have done a better job."
he probably would, though. He's very, very attention oriented to details. But yeah, it's been very interesting. I had an occasion where we went to the temple to get help from my friends. The cleric there, he had heard of us. He had heard of the Mystic Mechanicus. He had heard of Katerina von Grutzner and of what we had done. It was really something to. Well, the von Grutzner name's always been recognized, but it was a little different to have it be just me and what I'd done.
Oh, yes, indeed. Mystic Mechanicus, what a name. Yes, it is. It has reached the streets of Point Pleasant as well.
I think I'm starting to understand a little bit of what you feel whenever you have to consider what your actions and decisions and business deals do for the standing of something larger than yourself.
It does become something a little bit more, doesn't it?
Yes, but not too much. Not yet, anyway. But that reminds me. I did tell you that I had some proposals to run by you that I wanted to do in person before I left. They were a little complicated, but be a little rude to just spend all this time talking shop. She sort of turns to her friends and says, I need to get out some notes to help explain things. Did anyone have any questions or things they wanted to talk with Mother about?
Katerina kind of chimes up and she says, "Why don't we start with me?" And she looks immediately towards Jade and she says,
Hello.
Starting with you, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself? I know what Nariko has said, but I'd like to hear it in your own words. I'd like to know, where are you from? You have such a unique look to you.
Oh, yeah, I'm from the. So my name is Jade, and I'm up traveling, from home, from my home. I came up this way by, well, there's not really a name for it because I guess no one really knows it exists, for the most part. But it's called the Lost Valley. That's what Grandmama says that people call it. And then came up this way from there and went to Weyburn Port, and that's where I met Reverie. That's Reverie, and then we came and we got a ship, and we were helping get silks up to Crystal Cove for the big festival, and that's where we all met, and we met Noriko, who came in. So she came in on a ship, and then a smaller ship had like a problem, and she just like rappelled down the bigger ship, and she was able to fix it right away, and it was very impressive. And then we got to see her do that before she even did anything else. And then she came up, and then we all met, and we unloaded boxes together.
You're recapping.
Oh
everything I
yes,
already know
sorry.
right here, but that's quite fine.
Oh,
The Lost Valley, though, I did not realize there were villages there.
There's kind of not. It's just kind of me and my grandmama. It's mostly just grandmama who's there.
Did you live among the dinosaurs?
I did for a little bit. While grandmama was making me a dress. So we were there for a little bit of time.
Fascinating. How did you even come to be from? I didn't know that anyone was even able to live there.
I mean, grandmama is allowed because she helped build it.
Your grandmother helped build the Lost Valley? It's a natural landmass.
I mean, it is made from nature.
Is your mother a druid of some sort? Grandmother, sorry.
Yeah, actually, she is. She can make kind of the earth move any way she wants it to.
She must be very long-lived and very powerful.
She is. She's not here right now. She actually was supposed to be with me to go to Webbenport, but she had to go away pretty quickly. She said she had a problem she had to deal with. But she's very busy a lot of the time, keeping things together.
Fascinating. And she met you, and she looks to Reverie in Weyburn-Port, it was?
Yes.
Is that where you're from?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? You don't remember?
I don't know what all Narco has told you about me, but no, I don't remember.
Oh. Sad. There are magic users that are out there that can help you with that. Have you tried seeking them out?
I've talked to the head of the school in
Moonhaven.
Moonhaven. Thank you.
Better.
Yeah, it's complicated.
I see. Well, if you're looking for any kind of magical solution, Moonhaven is certainly the place to go. They have the most wizards and other spellcasters there. That's pretty much where they're made. Speaking of unique looks, she looks to Ren. You are a skull.
Technically, everyone has a skull.
Suzanne BRB, I don't know if she's
Oh,
B.
did she BRB? Oh.
Oh, yep, I see it now too.
Alright. We'll come back to you. She looks at Professor, and she says, "Those robes are unique. I don't recognize them."
He looks down at his clothes. Robes?
Well, I guess they're not robes, but the garb that you're wearing, it's a very unique style.
Oh, I guess so. And he looks at everyone else and realize no one else is dressed like a Renaissance dandy. Like, yeah, I guess.
Tell me where are you from, and what do we call you? I just did. Naruko just calls you the professor. Is that just your name, Professor?
He nods. Yes, I'm the professor. He kind of looks at her quietly for a moment, like before deciding that she's just curious. Like, yeah, right. Yes, not really from here. Across the sea, from Ekram. I'm a professor there at the Izurdi Academy of Sorcery.
She kind of looks surprised at that, and she says, "That far out? What made you make the journey all the way to here?"
Research expedition, actually. I'm writing a textbook on the arcane histories of Pelennor.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah,
Oh, how wonderful! History has never been a strong suit of mine. Of course, I know the urban legends, as they call it, but who can really tell if they're true or not? But
oh, there's always at least a little bit of nugget of knowledge in even the vaguest urban legend. There's always something there. Stories come from somewhere.
true enough. Yes, that's true enough. How did you find the crossing from Ekram? The waters, I've heard, can be quite dangerous.
He kind of nods slowly and wrinkles up his nose. It wasn't my favorite trip I've ever taken, but I mean, the end justifies the means, right?
I suppose depends on what the ends are. And then her eyes kind of light up, and she gets kind of like a sly smirk as she looks your way, and she says, "So, did you get to see the Leviathan too?"
Leviathan. He kind of cocks his head to the side, like, tell me more.
What?
Professor, give me a history check.
I'm gonna give you a history check. Gonna history so hard.
It's one of those pieces of lore, Professor, that you've heard about. Most kind of dismiss it as like mass hallucination on the sea from just being at the water for days upon weeks upon months. Sailors talk about a story of a large uh, a large mass of flotsam and jetsam that used to be some kind of ship. Some even say that it might even be an amalgamation of ships that have just crashed together and just formed one giant flotilla. Um, but no two stories about this mass called Leviathan are the same. What tends to be um, consistent among the stories that are told is that it is a large mass of floating something, that it is inhabited by some kind of being, be it sailors or even ghosts or demons. Depends on who you ask, what time of day, and how much they've drank. Some sailors have said that it only appears in a fog. Some have said that they see all sorts of floating lights, from just babbling orbs to bright plumes of fire and smoke surrounding this thing. But the fact that no two stories are the same makes it hard to believe that, something of that mass exists. But as you said yourself, there might always be at least some kind of truth to every urban mystery.
He looks at her kind of cockeyed and says, what have you heard about the Leviathan?
Oh, at the Leviathan, it has a mast 100 feet tall, and it has just decks upon decks of the undead roaming about, and that it tries to sink any ship that it comes across, only to try to uh, 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 assimilate it into its own structure.
He nods, like, curious. You know, there are lots of accounts of people who might have seen such a thing, but what's most curious about it is that no one seems to agree upon the origin or even the current nature of such a thing. Sorry, to answer plainly, no, I did not see it, although I should love to. Perhaps once my work here is done, it might be worth doing a little bit of a search out on the waves. I can't imagine that something that he kind of mushes his hands together, like amalgamates into that sort of structure and generates these types of stories, can be of mundane origins, have a very at-home place within my textbook, I would think.
She kind of nods a bit and she says, "Oh, well, I suppose it's fortunate, but also a shame. I was hoping to hear the account of somebody as trustworthy as someone like you seem to be."
Well, if there's anything else you'd like to hear about, I've got plenty of accounts of lots of different things, that not necessarily that specifically. Just name it, anytime.
She kind of smiles and she says, "If I think of something, I shall."
He nods and kind of holds up the croissant that he's like half bitten through and sort of gestures it like he's tipping a hat and says, "Good. Katerina, right?
Katerina, yes.
Katerina, it has been a pleasure to meet you."
Likewise, Professor. And now that I see Ren's back, she looks to Ren and says, "You have also a unique look about you, as you are a skull.
Yes.
Short and to the point, I like it. How... Just... I guess... No, that's the end of my question. How?
Unknown. I awakened some days, some minutes, before meeting my companions here. It seems I was dead before that. I do not remember much.
You were dead before that. Don't take offense, but you look dead now.
I do not feel dead now.
Well, that's good. That's good. It's like age, you're only as old as you feel, am I right?
I am uncertain. I do not know how old I feel, or how old I am.
No, she's right. Time is a construct and age doesn't really mean anything.
It's a good answer, actually. Ren, what is it that you do? What kind of specialties do you have?
I am slowly relearning what my capabilities include, but I seem capable of doing some healing, as well as some knowledge of spores, molds, and fungus. They
Botany.
are fascinating to me.
Yes, botany. Yes, quite useful. It's a good trade to have. Good skill. You can do a lot with that, you know.
I seem to be especially proficient in poisons.
Ooh, dangerous. You know, in my line of work, I could use somebody who has a kind of proficiency with poisons, although it would not suit me to actually be able to use that kind of skill. Although there are some people I think often that I wouldn't mind seeing them at the wrong end of a teacup.
Mother!
What? That's a little bit of fun, Narco. I would never.
I mean,
Ren doesn't
that's
get it.
right. Because she said she would get Ren to do it, so technically she would never do it. That's clever. I like that joke. It's a good one.
She kind of smiles. She looks back at Narco. She says, no. In all seriousness, I would never do a thing like that. I prefer to cut them down with my tongue instead. Much more satisfying that way. And she turns her gaze to Yuki and she says, "And you look like you are the wild itself. Please tell me your story."
My name is Yuki Musaka. I hail from a monastery up in the Zephyrin Mountains, on Sirik Steppe. My order is the Order of Alignment. We seek to find balance in all things. It's very interesting. You mentioned tea a moment ago. That seems to be my talent.
Oh, I see. So you pair up with Ren. Ren makes the poison, you make the tea, huh?
That is, if I require assistance. I would happily have assistance from Ren, but I do have to say that I can be quite lethal on my own. She kind of winks at Katerina.
She throws her head back with a laugh and looks back at you, and she says, Zephyrin Mountains, the monastery. There was a monastery that was up there some years ago. I had heard that it was no longer there. Did it get rebuilt?
Yes, yes, that monastery was removed and destroyed. Um, we sought to replace that evil with good. Hence, she smirks. Balance.
Balance. Katarina looks back at Noriko and she says, there is a balance in all things. I think you can learn a lot from your tabaxi friend here. There is a balance that always must be struck, especially in all business dealings. We sometimes call it compromise, so I'm sure you're well aware.
Oh, yeah, yes, and I have been learning a lot from Yuki. Her ideas of balance include a lot in terms of mental and emotional balance. It's been very, very useful exercise for me in order to keep a level head.
Wonderful. Nariko, I'm very happy to see that you've surrounded yourself with such a diverse group. So many personalities, so many capabilities. I could think of no other convoy that would be better for you to travel with.
Marco kind of like slowly lets out a breath. It's like, okay, good. Didn't fail the assignment.
Oh, Mom likes
Mom's not going to fire my friends. Yes, well, it was a very much an ad hoc situation to begin with, but well, crisis makes for some fire-forged allies, to be sure.
I must say, I think that is one of the blessings of von Grutzner's, is that things just happen to fall in place for us sometimes when we least expect it.
And if not, we always have the skills and the adaptability to move those pieces into place ourselves.
She kind of smiles and she laughs inwardly a bit to herself, and she kind of like does that like little touch on her nose, where it's kind of like that simple like, yep, you got it right.
Speaking of which, I've got a few things for you to look over here. She sort of looks around. How is this one of those things where like Mama put in a little extra coin for like the VIP treatment, and there's like no one sitting close by, even though there's clearly tables available. They're just haven't been filled. I wonder why.
There are a couple of others that are outside, but there is enough space between the tables that gives you, enough of privacy. You guys are at a large enough table where you're kind of like huddled together, where is the sort of thing where the sound doesn't really travel too well outside of it. But the setup itself is, what you expect of a Von Grutzner standard, white tablecloth, nice porcelain, serving dishes and cups and things of the like.
Before she begins, Naruto turns to Jade and says, "Before I begin, Jade, do I have your permission to be free with the information that we learned the other night?"
Jade bites her lip and looks between Naruko to Katerina and back again. and then she just reaches back out to like lay her hand. I assume like Narco took her hand back to like get through her things and grab
Yeah,
her stuff.
yeah.
She just hesitantly just like lays her hand like lightly on Narco's knee under the table, and she just says, "If you're sure, I'm okay with it."
I think the worst that would be the worst possible scenario is that Mother denies the request, which is fully within her rights, and it is a big ask. So,
I mean, yeah, of course.
well, okay. I'm going to start with the most involved and difficult of these opportunities first. And I apologize, I'm going to have to get a little bit technical on the magic side. But I brought diagrams, and I will try and keep this concise. So Noriko will kind of like move over to kind of sit next to Katerina and pull over some of the things that she's written up. And what she is going to do is she is going to explain that in her travels, and she has like 4 other magic users here of clerical and arcane bent who can kind of back her up on this, and Professor Ren, Reverie, and Jade. But Narco is going to explain that like when it comes to gods and other sort of like large scale magical beings, that their sort of forms and identities are somewhat in flux, which makes sense that if you're a being that subsists off of belief, then the belief of your followers can influence in you just as much as you can influence your followers, and that they've seen this historically with gods transitioning to become other gods over time. You know, the Kekabeshian pantheon of like Amun-Ra became Pelor, the sun god, or you know, different aspects being taken up. Although those gods do tend to still be able to remember and recall to those earlier forms of themselves, as seen when that one Thorn of the Black Rose, Sepka, was able to invoke those old gods, even though they had not been, properly worshipped in such a long time. And he's going to use this, or she. Narco is going to sort of like see that Katerina like sort of understands this process first. Which I don't know if I need to like make a teaching check, or she needs to make a check to comprehend, or if that just happens.
I did make a check for her, and she does seem to be following along.
Okay, so this is the part Narco is gonna need some help with her following on. So Narco will then transition to explaining that recently the travels they came across, evidence of cultists of Moloch, and she'll briefly go over with what Moloch is known for now, and then she will pivot and say, but historically, farther back in time, Moloch was treated very, very differently, to a degree far more substantial than the other gods that she was sort of listing off before. These were sort of like they would get a new identity or a new aspect, but it was largely in the same. Here, it was sort of a twisted corruption and a forgetting, and how Moloch was originally depicted as like more of a god, or at least a powerful entity related to like change and transitions and childhood to adulthood, and how misinterpretation of those rituals can sort of lead to this idea of like sacrifice of children, etc. And she will say that so what I hypothesize could be possible would be that something akin to sort of a PR campaign should be able to sway enough of sort of the gestalt consciousness of people that form could be undone. Now the question would be, does Katerina even agree with, just off of her own assumptions, that Naruko's idea is possible? Not any question about carrying it out, but just does the logic hold sound for her?
So with her check that she made, she will reply to you that she follows the logic behind it, and it does seem to be kind of true that not only do gods tend to shape the people that follow them, but the followers tend to shape them back with their ideas and their beliefs about that god. So she seems to understand that, and it's of course a hypothetical, theoretical. No one really knows for sure, although the stories do seem to corroborate that. She thinks that uh, what you are proposing is possible, although is kind of confused as to why you would try to do such a thing for a devil.
Then, to answer that, Naruto will say, because not long after we found that talisman of Moloch, uh, it was destroyed very immediately, because Jade has a very personal history with those sorts of cultists. Jade is somewhat in a similar position to Ren in that at some point previously her original body was killed in sacrifice by these cultists. But where her soul went during that was, well, to the being that it was intended for, I suppose, in that Moloch retreat chart. And absolutely enraged, destroyed those cultists, took her in, and then struggled to give her a new life and a new body to replace that which was taken from her. And I know this because Jade told us all of this and still has a connection to Moloch and actually summoned him to speak with us. And she immediately puts up her hands. I'm okay. I'm fine. We all got a taste of what the absolute dread an archdevil is capable of producing in that moment before he realized who he was talking to and where he was, and he sort of changed forms back. And I had a very long talk with him about what he understands of this process and what he has been endeavoring to do over these past millennia with this new sort of domain that has been thrust upon him, and what little he can do to sort of maintain his original ideals within that. I've also
Possibly
seen,
a little bit dramatic.
most importantly, I've seen how he looks and talks and treats with Jade. I believe, without any doubts whatsoever, that he is a loving father to her. That he did everything he did for her out of genuine love and compassion. So, I wanted to put this idea forward partly because I care about Jade and I would like to help her if it's within my power. And I think that Moloch has been served a rather raw deal on his terms as well. And while he may be an archdevil now, if this works, he might not have to be any further in the future. And an entity of such power would be a firm ally to have in any event. But the reason why I bring all this up to you is that if there was anyone in the world that I believe had the charisma, had the shrewdness, had the resources and skills, even if we couldn't pull off such a dramatic fate, at least to offer our expertise in terms of, public relations, I guess, that'll be you. And as soon as I thought of the idea, I thought, it's so wild that I'm and resist seeing if it could even be done. And I know you like a challenge, but like I said, it's a rather wild idea, and there's no guarantee of success. But I thought it was worth bringing to your attention, and it was, as you can see, it was rather involved in and touches on some sensitive topics that I couldn't just try to explain it all in a letter. So that's
as you tell Jade's story, you see there is a gasp from Katerina, and she does that thing where she like that like pearl clutching, like covering her mouth kind of look, and she looks over to Jade and she says, "You poor girl. I'm so sorry."
It's okay. I don't really remember most of it.
You don't remember anything from your past life?
Paul said that soul does that sometimes after a pretty traumatic event.
Oh, death is a pretty damn traumatic event.
Yeah, I don't. I only remember bits of it. Papa says I might start remembering more as I'm here. I remember some things, but I'm okay.
She kind of nods. She looks back to Naruko. She says, "So, your idea is you want me to run a PR campaign for Devil?"
Maybe just a historical truth.
For even preliminary, even sort of preliminary, just it seemed when I talked with Malak that he had been in this state for so long that he hadn't really considered the various means by which it could be changed. I think even just offering him some of our expertise in a consulting capacity could be helpful. But I think not even just a PR campaign for a devil, even just giving the average person a better understanding of how their own thoughts, beliefs, and actions shape divine magics could be useful in its own right. There's too many people who go around accepting a dogma that's been handed down to them and then following it blindly. And in the case of what's happened to Moloch, it's done genuine harm to the spirit world as a result. But yes, I do think if there's any case where this could be done in a way that could do some good, this would be where I would start. I do have my second of 3 proposals, I do have something that might be a starting point for that. But I'm much more research and development, not so much marketing. That's why I wanted to seek your advice on the matter.
She nods a bit. You can see the wheels turning in her head. She says, It's not the challenge of launching a PR campaign for someone. He sounds like a very nice man, devil, whatever.
He is a male. He does identify as a male. That was kind of what. I mean, I guess technically he's not really any gender, because he doesn't technically have one.
Well,
but that is what was assigned to him when he was created the first time.
Sure. The problem is not one of the challenge. The problem is one of optics, you see. There are already people throughout the world that think that we've already struck some kind of deal with the devil to get our name as big as it has been. Now, what would they say if we actually were working for a devil?
You are diversifying.
Yes.
If it makes you feel better, Papa says that I shouldn't call Palo a bad word, because the gods don't really have as much freedom as the devils and the wild magics do.
Yes. The initial uphill battle with optics was another one of the large concerns that I was trying to grapple with while thinking on this idea. I suppose then it would either be, at least to start with, working at it from a more oblique angle. Like I said, I think sort of like how I did with you, educating on the mechanics of it first, and then bringing forth the history helps sort of enable the understanding and sort of allow it to be more digestible, at least to those who are willing to open up their minds and think critically about it.
I actually had thought about that. I mean, Professor's already a professor. I might be able to do something more with the schools in Ekram. But, I mean, even if it was just a class that could be offered of, like, the ways that we as people here on this plane of existence influence other planes of existence, and then you can use that as an example. I mean, it's not coming from, Katerina or von Grutzner's, it's coming from, like, a historical profession, but maybe be sponsored,
See, she kind
like educational sponsoring.
She kind of furrows her brow a bit as you're going over this, and she says, "A school, a class, perhaps a class at the school. Arcane knowledge. Well, one. So, off the top of my head, there could be a potential for the von Grutzner Trading Company to make some donations to some institutions of learning, to perhaps incorporate some kind of classes about gods and devils and the way of thinking that shapes their becoming, and how it is this kind of symbiotic relationship, I'm sure, would need to be taught by people who are much more knowledgeable than I on the subject, of course. But a donation from the von Grutzner company to a school doesn't necessarily need to be traced to any certain thing. Yes, I believe something like that could work, but I do ask, of course, because this is a business relationship, Narco, what's in it for us?
So Narco kind of nods and says, well, I mentioned before that we would be putting Moloch in a great deal of she hesitates to use the word debt because Jade is right there. That might be a little rude. But she says, well, he does, being a powerful being from another plane, he does have a great deal of knowledge and access on a number of more esoteric topics that would be of immediate benefit to us. In fact, in my conversation with him, I discovered something that ties into the third proposal. Before you make your decision on what to do about that, maybe I could show you that as an example of something that might be gained. So she points over to a different set of schematics, and she says, so this here is a listing of the different ley lines that cross across Uzura. What we've always sort of assumed is that ley lines are more or less a natural phenomenon. They follow the currents of magic through the world, and it's kind of up to luck whether or not we can find one in a convenient spot for accessing and what effects it will have. But something I've learned from my talk with Moloch was that the ley lines are actually affected by mortals, which on reflection does make some sense. They're sort of the general life force that all mortals have. But more importantly, ley lines actually seem to follow concentrations of people. Sites that resonate very strongly within the collective consciousness, and large settlements are certainly one of those places, along along with areas that are of religious significance or historical significance, all of these kind of draw a pull onto ley lines and make them more likely to pass through and add a greater strength. What is remarkable about this is that means if human activity and construction can influence a ley line's direction, well, she starts showing some diagrams. This is something I worked out. It is an example of one of our usual sort of post offices, but you'll notice I've rearranged the configuration of the walls and how the workflow moves through it. What I've done here is taken the glyph of what would normally be a haste spell and sort of rearranged the actual building itself and to sort of magic that sort of mimic that glyph, and then the flow of workers as they move to and fro on the packing, assembling, and shipping follows along the same circuits that you would use to channel mana in order to activate the glyph. If we place this at the right point within the city where that ley line flows, we might conduct something that I'm tentatively calling architectural thaumaturgy, where you could actually harness a little bit of that ley line for ourselves and imbue a small bit of magic to increase the efficiency.
Interesting. And you think that this Moloch can help with that?
He demonstrated to me that he has an actual ability to reach down and sort of tug into a ley line in much the same way that wizards tug at the weave that's ambient around us to perform magic. Now, obviously, that he can do that at all is down to the fact that he is an archfiend at the moment, and very, very powerful and highly attuned to such things. This is how we get Shinra. Anyway, so not only was he able to provide a much clearer insight into how this works, but it could be possible that in the course of our work, he could expend some of that energy at times to help hold those ley lines into better positions for us. More also of note, those ley lines, the Modrons are attuned to them as well. And I did some digging. It looks like that a lot of the sort of most commonly used flight paths that our Modrons take just sort of follow along the ley lines like a highway. So further understanding and manipulation of this might allow us to have a greater control and create greater speeds of transportation.
Ah, now I see. Okay.
Can you? You can, but I was just looking this over and I realized that there is a potential for us to essentially incorporate large-scale magical rituals woven into our normal operations without needing to hire a single wizard to sit around casting spells for us all day.
Okay, you have my attention.
Excellent.
I just wanted to say one other thing. I know Naruko is really hoping that all this helps my papa, so that he can kind of go back to being what he was before. That's never going to happen. But he would really like it if he could get people to stop thinking that if they kill people for him, that he would be indebted or owe them a favour, or try to get them to bring him here he is a very good. He's a very good being, and he loves me and all my sisters. Well, he has been an archdevil for ever since Palo. Well, I'm not supposed to say it's him because it's not his fault, even though he could have done something. Since Palo's clerics lied about what he was and changed him. And he was never really a god like Palo or any of them were. He came from an idea, just like they did, but I don't think he ever got a chance to really be a god like that, which is why he didn't get any respect or splinter off like all the sun gods do. I know the other ones still exist, they just aren't as active anymore. Palor is the one that is now. And what Norika said, they kind of remember where they came from. But Papa just changed. And he went where his power went.
With your collective passive insights, you can see something sad kind of crosses Katerina's face. Jade, as you mentioned, sisters. And she kind of nods a bit, and this, Narco, this is almost a bit out of character for her, because you've never known your mother to be the type of person to be driven by her emotion. But you see she kind of nods, which is a sign of she's made up her mind. And she looks to you and she says, the von Grutzner Trading Company will make donations to some of the schools around Uzera. We will start a, for lack of a better term, religion class to begin to educate the population on the different pantheons that are existence, and we'll be sure to set the history right on this one. Not with, such a targeted cause, of course. Von Grutzner Training Company doesn't want to be labeled as having one particular belief over another, but pursuit of truth. Now that is a worthwhile endeavor.
Narco smiles and says, the best marketing is the kind that doesn't need to lie at any point. And there is one more thing that may be of use. She sort of pulls out a different set of schematics. She's like, so ever since the Postal Service took off, we've been seeing more of these sort of periodicals and the like that have been printed and spread around. I think it might be time where the von Grutzner Company could produce our own kind of paper about the news that could have a very wide reach. It could be used in support of sort of this educational campaign, and it could just be used to better spread news of goings on and connect the world. I wrote the Von Grutzner Gazette as a workshop name. You can change it later if you don't like it. But I know we have some of the presses that just finished were for the printing up the manuals for the latest shipment of rifles for training. Maybe that's something that we could start looking around for, finding writers and scribes, and the fact that we have outposts in so very many different cities, we could actually collect reports from all over and collate them into sort of a comprehensive single spot where you could be here in Uzera and getting news about what's going on over in Weyburn Port, or like that was my last sort of idea that I had come up with lately.
She grins and she says, "The von Grutzner Gazette. That does have a bit of a ring to it, doesn't it? We can advertise our own wares on it. We could even get others to pay for its distribution. I bet those snobs over at Summergall would love to have full-page ads for their resorts plastered all over the place. Yes. Yes, I think this would do well."
Great. All right. So she signs over kind of the different documents that she had prepared for this little business meeting, and then she goes over to sit down next to Jade, and once again puts her hand in hers under the table, and Narco sort of looks to Jade, and she kind of gets this very serious look on her face, and she says, "I know you say it's impossible for your father to go back to just the way he was before, and maybe that's true. Maybe there's changes and scars and such that won't ever go away. But I'm an inventor at heart, and there's something Mother's always told me to believe in, and that's if it's difficult, it will be done. And if it's impossible, it's just going to take a little bit longer."
Jade smiles and holds Narco's hand under the table, and there's still that chill that just sinks through those gloves as she holds it, but it's doesn't seem as cold today as it did before, at least to Narco, maybe. And she
No, you're finished.
and she says, "I think either way, it's gonna help, and that's really all that matters. I know he loves us all so much, but I know it breaks his heart every time he makes another room in the house. So even if that's the only thing that can happen for right now, that would do more than he could ever know. I just didn't want to get anyone's hopes up that it would all be different, and I just didn't want to lie to your mum. That, I mean, not that we were lying or anything, it's just, I just didn't want her to think that we're doing this to turn a devil into something else. Because he's still my papa, and he is who he is. Not because of what he is, and not in spite of what he is, but because that's how he was always created. That's just where he works right now."
That's what's important.
Yeah.
Mother will always be Mother to me because she's the one who took me in and gave me a home, gave me love, gave me all the support I could ever ask for to be who I am today. And Narco would like to make an insight check on Katerina, because Joe pointed out of character for her to be quite so emotionally affected. So she's trying to get a bead on what went on.
Sure.
Do I get advantage because it's my mom, or do I not because she's
I'll give you
really
advantage.
good?
I'll give you advantage since your mom.
All right. So that is a 15 plus insight is a 2, I think. Yes, 17 plus 1 for guidance, 18 total.
The beat that you get, Narco, is while this is out of somewhat out of character for her, she seems genuine in her reaction and her intent. And you get the feeling that had it come from somebody else, not her daughter, she might not have entertained it as long as she had.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And Naraka will sort of kind of pull Jade in and sort of whisper in her ear. I think your dad taking in your sisters, I think that kind of struck a chord with her after taking me in when my parents passed.
Like someone with a really big heart to be able to say that they can offer things to people and to children especially when they maybe didn't plan for it.
Naruto's going to wonder for a bit because Moloch does what he does because in a way he's trying to like make up for all the bad stuff that's happening in his name. And Naruto's wondering if Mom has any other baggage of her own maybe that led to her coming out to adopt in the first place. But she is not going to ask that question. No. All right. So with all the heavy stuff out of the way, Naruto is going to relax as best she can and just have a nice brunch, tea time treat with her friends and her mom. And Newman is also here. He's just been standing to the side, smiling the whole time.
Oh yeah, complete like just blank smile, just watching everybody watch the conversation back and forth. This big beady eye. Katerina seems pleased. Well, not just because she got to see you before you headed out, but also because you, like her, did not miss an opportunity to make some kind of a deal to have things go your way. But the tea time is pleasant enough. Nice. There's no shortage of hot drink. There's no shortage of pastries that are brought out to you. Replenished about as fast as you guys can put them down. Katerina looks around at you all with a smile and she says, "Well, this has been lovely, and I have very much enjoyed the opportunity to spend some time with you all. I'm also open to answering any questions that any of you might have about me or the company that my darling Nariko will one day take over."
How come you didn't get married?
She smiles a bit and she says, I know this is going to sound like kind of a lonely answer, but in my mind it's always been that love is a luxury that one can afford when one's tasks are completed. Be it beyond my knowledge at the time, though, that the job is never done. So, perhaps it's something I missed out on.
Remember before he kind of says things like that sometimes. Grandma does too.
Oh, right. I nearly forgot. Should Mother ever need to get in contact with your father, Jade,
Hi.
what is the best means to do so? I know that he can make contact back by kind of tuning into the ley line and grabbing a modron for a body.
Oh, it's a good question actually. I mean, I can talk to him because I have Divide, but if you don't mind a moment, I can ask him.
You're going to ask him right now.
Is that okay?
Katerina,
I don't have to.
Katerina shrugs and she says, "Honestly, I'm a little bit curious."
Well, I don't know what you all see on this side. I usually do this in private. So just one moment then, and she'll open her bag, and she'll set David on the table.
Oh, another skull.
Yeah, this is David. David. She'll like gently tap at the corner of his cheek.
The little flames light up inside the skull, and the flames look up to Katerina and says, "Oh, hello." Katerina says,
David, this is Katerina. Katerina, this is David.
"A skull that talks."
Well, technically, he's inside the skull.
Well, technically, we're all inside our skulls, are we not?
I suppose that's true too. Just a moment, and I'll ask. I shall turn David around, and she honestly doesn't know what it looks like when she does this because she's never done this in front of anybody else before. As she holds David and looks into his eyes, and her own, they don't turn into black or turn into flames or anything like that. But suddenly, the starlight that surrounds them every time she brings her twilight up to protect her friends is the same color in her eyes as she calls home.
You kind of go into a trance, Jade, and what the rest of you see is just you kind of like standing there, kind of still with your hands on David's skull. But that's all they see. In your vision, however, you are standing in a room, big armchair. You see your dad with his little sweater vest, little glasses on. He looks up and he smiles. He goes, "Oh, Jade, I wasn't expecting to hear back from you so soon."
So many sweater vests. Hi, Papa. I know. We were, honestly, Norika's mom, Katerina, she actually showed up for a surprise visit, and I made special friends with Noriko, and it got a little bit weird. Not with Noriko, she's great. I mean, you met her, she's great. I didn't know what to say to her mum, and then I told her mum, and then immediately, 4 to 7 seconds into meeting her mum, and then that was, I don't think I was supposed to say that. But then, I mean, I don't know that I wasn't supposed to say it, but I don't know when I'm supposed to say things like that. Anyway,
Yeah.
well, she's here, and Noriko asked her about helping, getting the word out that people need to stop trying to kill people in your name, and Katerina is really interested in doing that, but she doesn't know how to get hold of you, and I don't know how to tell her how to get hold of you because I know how to get hold of you, and that's through David, and I don't really want to give David to her.
Right. Oh, wow, geez. Not a lot of people trying to get a hold of me unless they're sacrificing teenagers, and I wouldn't suggest going around doing that.
Yeah, that's the last thing
Oh,
we'd want to want.
yeah, no, I don't know. So I don't know. Maybe she could try to pray.
Freya, I mean, Freya can work. If it's just a big resonance of magical energy that you need that's dedicated to you, right?
It's more spiritual than magical, but yeah.
Spiritual energy. Okay. Well, I can tell her to do that. I don't know that she's super into religious. Is that going to be a thing? Does she just need to?
Don't think so. I'm not used to the sort of thing. People don't really pray to devils. It's always usually some kind of weird like ritual involves like blood and stuff, and I never understood that. But I guess some of the other devils are into it. But I don't.
One person's aesthetic really shouldn't
Yeah.
help me. Well, it's like when Uncle Dias comes over and he's all like, "Oh, you need to have more skulls and
Oh,
horns." I'm like,
not.
you have all the horns already, and we don't need that.
Not talk about him right now. Listen, I don't know. I guess she could try to pray. I've never had anyone actually try to pray to me. I guess I don't know if that'll work, but
okay. I mean, I can tell her that.
Sure.
If it doesn't work, can you take one of the Modrins and just go see her?
I don't know.
Like, on a certain, if she puts a Modrin in a ley line for on a certain time of day.
I mean, okay, so the thing about ley lines is that it's not like a physical place that you can go to. It's just a thing that exists in like a
Oh,
meta-magical
yeah.
kind of...
I'll just meet in close proximity, so you didn't have to reach too far.
Yeah. Sure, try that. Honestly, I don't know what will work. I've never had this happen before.
Oh, but she seems really smart and nice, and I'm sure we'll all figure it out.
All right.
How is everything here?
Oh, busy. You know how things are.
I know. Well, I hope we can make some changes for you.
Oh,
Katerina seems pretty determined, and Naraka does too. And the two of them, I don't know.
well, you see, that's the thing about being what I am, is that I can be whatever I need to be. I'm not held down to any specific I
I
don't
know.
know, thought or what's the word I'm looking for? Stereotype, I guess.
Oh, that's true.
So, sure.
Okay. Well, I'll let him know, and I love you, and I'll talk to you soon then.
I love you. Do be careful up there.
I will. Is it okay that I'm special friends with Noriko?
Sweetheart, you can be whatever you want to be.
Okay. Well, right now I'm special friends with Noriko, and I'm part of the Mystic Mechanicus, and we're gonna do wonderful things.
Go get him.
Okay. We did kill like 20 gnolls, 10
I know.
gnolls.
I
So
know. Yep.
yeah. Okay, good. Alright, I was hoping that you knew. Okay. Well, I love you. Goodbye.
Bye.
And she'll just come back to herself. He says you can pray, but he's never really had anyone pray to him before.
Well, if there just needs to be sort of a ritual of intent. Oh, okay. So I think what Mother could do probably would just be if you sort of head to your
You know,
office, maybe sort of like dim the lights and kind of invoke him as if you're summoning him to like a board meeting, because that's a ritual that has a very strong resonance with the von Grutzner
I was
like
also
building.
thinking that like contracts are pretty big between. I mean, Noriko, you ordered contracts, and I mean the devils all do that too. If that could be part of your intent.
Yeah.
If prayer is like it does. He says it doesn't have to be a prayer. It's just it has to be a resonation of spiritual energies. And it'll probably get his attention.
And then just have a Modron on hand to act as a vessel if with that attention he's able to kind of hone in to the area, and then he would be able to speak back. I think the summoning to like a contract negotiation would probably go better for us than trying to more traditionally pray with like incense at a shrine and such.
He wasn't sure if it would even work. It's because people don't usually pray to devils, and he said that there's always some weird ritual involving blood, and he doesn't know why they do that. But I guess some of the older devils were really into that sort of thing, and it kind of just stuck around.
Well, we're already here to change those practices. So I say begin the process early. No blood, no howling, no daggers, just a calm and professional summons to meet.
Katerina.
I mean, knows you're going to do it, so he'll be listening.
See, Katerina nods and she goes, "Okay, a ritual involving contracts. I think we can figure that out."
Yeah.
Well, she stands up and she smooths out her dress and she says, "This has been enlightening. Narco, wow, things that you have done. Impressive. The rest of you, it was lovely to meet you all. I don't want to hold you up any further on your journey. I'm sure you are busy, have places to go and people to see and things to do. I know Nariko.
Oh yeah, we gotta turn in those knoll ears.
Knoll ears? Oh, right. No, I did see the posters. Really, you collected the bounty on the knoll ears.
Yep, like a few.
There was also some other very foul beasties alongside the gnolls, but yes, and I found the reward that they first offered me to be rather off of value, so there were some negotiations.
Huh.
But
Fantastic. I would expect nothing less.
yes, we before we leave here, I do intend to collect on that contract and trade in a few more things to make sure we are well supplied. Um, you you mentioned some knowledge of the ruffians that make their residence in Red's Wharf. We intend to contact first with the town guard there to get the lay of the situation before trying to make contact, be it to negotiate or otherwise, with the criminal element. I didn't know if you had any insights or advice or contacts I should keep an eye out for.
Things have changed in Red's Wharf. The new head of the guard there, Captain Ursa, she has quite the chip on her shoulder, and she thinks that she can clean up Red's Wharf on all her own. She doesn't trust anybody else to do it. I'm afraid even my influence has not gotten so far with her. So, whatever you do down there, you would probably be best not to catch their eye.
And if looking to open contact actions will do us far more than words.
Likely.
Yes. Okay. Good. Good to know. Thank you. And thank you again for coming to see me off and all the help you've given me today and every day. And I'm gonna go forward and give her a great big hug.
She smiles and she wraps her arms around you in an embrace. And she says, "Do good out there, Nariko. I'm proud of you."
Does not squeeze. Squeeze internally.
Internal squeeze.
Yep. She'll nod and she'll break off and smooth out her dress. She wore the good one today. And nod and wish mother safe travels.
And same to you, my daughter, and the rest of you as well.
It was wonderful to meet you.
Thank you for the biscuits.
Rip that cow. And thank you for the tea time. Tea time tea.
My pleasure. Safe travels to you all. She'll kind of smile, nod, and she'll head on back towards the docks. Newman left sitting on the table without any orders to follow, kind of just watches everything go by.
I really like your mum.
He's quite the woman. Hope I can
You
have
are
her
too.
confidence.
He said she was proud of you.
He did. I can breathe
See?
now.
Do you want some more tea?
No. I've had enough. I think sorting out our business here in town and then getting on the road is just what I need. I need to move around. Woo. Thank you, everyone. The interview went great. You all did good.
The interview.
It was an interview.
Oh, don't worry about it. Anyway, Jade's right. We do need to turn in some knoll ears, and I have a few bits of equipment that was also picked up at the cave that we can offload as well. I think there's like a crossbow and some bolts and a shield.
While we are around in town, I would like to pick up some herbs while we are here.
I will help.
I'll let
Sticky nuts.
Okay. How about you guys head to the market and just sort of shop around, see what you might like. I'll go turn in the gold so that we'll know what the party funds will be sitting at, and then we can get whatever we need.
Okay. Is the professor still going with you to the thing? Do you want to do that?
Actually, if you all don't mind, there's something I'd like to take a look into. Probably the best time to do it is while everyone's busy doing other things. A bit of a errand, if you will. I'm just going to run back over to the temple, if you will.
Do you need company?
Nah,
Want company?
I'll be okay. Meet you back here afterwards.
At this cafe?
Sure, as good as any.
Okay, I guess everyone just meet back at this cafe when we're all done, and then we'll head out.
Sounds
sounds
like
good
a
to
good
me.
idea.
And break.
All right. So the party splits up to kind of go around, do their own things. Who would like to start?
Who's going with whom?
Naruto took Newman, so she's got a buddy.
Yuki and Ren are gonna go to the shops. I mean,
Yay,
Yuki's
buy
definitely.
things.
Yeah! Yuki wants to look for a list of herbs. That of course I have prepared because why not? Yeah. And yeah.
Let's go.
I don't know if Jade, Reverie, if you guys want to come, you're more than welcome.
Is there anything Reverie wants to do in town?
Not that I can think of right now.
Does Reverie want to go anywhere, or does she just want to sit at this cafe? Because Jade will just hang out with her if she just wants to sit.
I'll go with Jade and Yuki if that's what's going on.
Cool. So I guess it's the four of us going to the herbalist.
Aye.
All right. So let's start with Naruko then. Naruko and Newman, they are heading towards the Master of Coin to turn in some ears. So it is you're getting on mid-morning at this point. The treasury treasury offices are open, and you approach the building. People coming in and out. You come in and to the same little waiting area where you see that same receptionist you saw from the previous days.
Does she look? Does she look more put together after Naruko tipped her some money to like get a bath and
Oh yeah,
treat herself after dealing with
yeah,
yesterday's kerfuffle?
yeah. She's got some new shiny duds on.
Lovely. When she's called up, Naruko will go forward to. Doesn't recommend grabbing a basket this time because she only has eight ears to turn in for bounty.
She smiles at you. She says, "Oh, Mr. Harko." She stands to greet you. Hi, I'm sorry I didn't see you. I would have taken you up sooner.
Oh, it's quite all right, dear. Just wish to inform the master that his problem on the road should be quite thoroughly dealt with.
Oh, wonderful. I'll buzz him over now. And she'll use her little sending stone intercom. Moments later, same old little halfling comes in with his balding head, sees you, and you see for a moment there's like a bit of an exasperated look. He kind of like pauses mid-step, but realizes that he's committed, so he continues to walk over. And he greets you, and he says, "You're back."
Well, I told you. the job is now done. The knoll should not be any further issue.
The
And
job is
Narco will.
done. Like done?
Narco looks at this guy like he's stupid, because she clearly just said that. She'll slowly start taking out the ears to be counted, and be like, "Yes, well, they were holed up in a cave. They had one rather nasty-looking one that seemed to be their war leader, and now he is Oh, yes, disemboweled. I think that's what Yuki did to him. Yes, disemboweled him."
Rashorn kind of makes a face. He winces a bit. He says, "No more stinky dog, hyena, goat heads or anything anymore."
Not this time. Disappointed?
Not in the least bit.
Narco just kind of smirks a bit, and she's estimated she's got 8 of these knoll ears to turn in, and I think 25 gold per ear was what we got last time.
Yep. So he'll look at the ears and he will count them up, and he kind of like looks up at you over his glasses, and he says, 8 different knolls, or 4 knolls, 2 ears on each of them.
Narco sort of like spreads them out a bit so that they're all in a line, and she says, "I'm sure you can tell left from right, correct?"
Yes, I can.
Points her eyes down at the knoll ears. We're all in the same direction.
He takes a look at it and nods. He says, "Okay, all right. 8 ears. That's 200 gold." And he'll get together 200 gold and pass it over to you.
Fantastic. I like how he did the exact thing I thought of when we first started cutting ears off people. It's just like, no, you have to all cut them off from the same side, because otherwise, then people can just say like, "Oh yeah, no, totally, I got this many." With that, we have just barely crested over the 1,000 gold mark for the party funds.
Nice.
So good job, everyone. And I can delete these ears out of my inventory.
So he hands over the gold to you, and he says, "Well, congratulations, and the city of Rockdale appreciates your efforts in clearing out this scourge."
Nariko nods and says, "Indeed they do." And she will pop down her business card onto the table. Should you have any other events come up in the next couple of days, then you can reach the Mystic Mechanicus here. Unfortunately, we will be traveling away from Uzura in a bit of time, so if you do need a secondary recommendation, there's quite a capable sellsword over at the Golden Sunset, Miss Eris. Should you have thanks for a moment. Well, hopefully you don't have any further problems that require that particular skill set, but just so you know someone to turn to.
He nods and says, "Yes, let's hope, but thank you for the recommendation."
Naturally. No, then. I must be off. Best of luck to you. And she will head off with her gold to head to the market. We don't need to roleplay this out. I do have just like a couple bits of equipment, like a shield, a crossbow, and stuff that we like picked up from the cave. Would I be able to just sell those off to a merchant real quick?
Yeah, not a problem.
Okay, then I will do that, and then she'll head over to the Overlist to go meet up with everyone else to see what they found.
All right. Meanwhile, happening simultaneously, let's cut over to the professor, who is making his way to the Temple of Valcour. Professor, what are you up to?
So he heads over to the temple and he goes up to the doors and kind of knocks to sort of see if he can speak with I can't remember their name, person of the church.
Empusa.
Empusa.
You knock at the door and you hear a set of footsteps clanking across wooden boards, very much like you would aboard a ship. The large, heavy door opens and you see the face of this dragonborn. Open the door. And it is Empusa again in all her glory and her glorious captain's garb, sporting a brand new, shiny, waterproof leg. And she kind of smiles at you through one eye, or one good eye, and she kind of goes, "Ah, welcome back."
Empusa, it's lovely to see you again.
Aye. What you been eating?
Well, fortunately, it's not just a social call. Yesterday, you assisted my friends with their affliction, and I was wondering if you might be willing to take a shot at helping me with a sort of affliction of my own.
Aye. What affliction would that be?
He crosses his arms and kind of looks at the ground, furrowing his brows, trying to think of the best way to word it. He says, well, I'll save you the major details, but over the past, what has it been, month or so, I have, how shall I put this, touched the void. And through that connection, my connection to the weave has begun to erode. I was hoping that abstaining from my continued experimentation in the missing school of magic might allow my connection to the weave to heal, and I'm not so sure it is. It's only been a night, but I haven't seen any improvement. I'm just really not sure when the next time I'll be near a temple like this. So, you see, I'm a scholar, and I don't sit easily on not knowing a thing, and I need to know if this is something that can be fixed by the divine. Would you be willing to help?
Void, you say?
Yes. You've heard of it.
I have, just now. You told me.
You are not wrong. Very, very astute.
Ha! Oh, poor scared little man. You think that there's a mysterious force out there to get you, eh?
His face is just like just locked in this disbelief of what he's hearing. Like, yeah, sure.
Ha!
Um,
Hide it as
anyway,
much as you like to try. I know when I see somebody who's a little green around the ears.
he wrinkles his nose. Is like, right, metaphor. Right. Would you be willing to help?
Aye, let's see what I can do. And you see, she begins to cast a spell. You recognize. Actually, give me an Arcana check.
Nah. Wait for it. There we go.
Yeah, definitely good enough. You can tell she's beginning to cast like a detect magic spell on you.
Okay.
So you see this. You can see her tapping into the magic around her. The air around her becomes that kind of like, you know how it looks kind of like when it's hot and hazy out. It looks like a little bit wavy, even though there's really nothing there.
Yeah.
Something like that kind of effect. You feel the sea breeze rush past. You get that lung full of salt air as she uses her magic, and she kind of studies you for a bit. And after a few moments, she nods. She says, "I see the corruption. It's quite a nasty thing you've tapped into. Where did you find
Corruption.
such a power?"
He kind of tips his head a little bit and stares into her eyes for a moment. It's like, he says, would you believe if I told you in the space between places, in absence of something?
Aye, liberal spaces, eh?
He
Suppose it is
slowly
possible.
nods.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Says, I suppose it is possible. There are still a lot of things that we don't know here on the plane.
Indeed.
She kind of grins a toothy grin, and she says, "And that the lack of that knowledge just eats you alive, doesn't it?"
I hate that it's that obvious, but yes.
It's written all over your face, boy.
He, like, brings his hands up to his face and just pulls his cheeks down like he's wiping the look off of his face. He's like, right. So anyways, is corruption something you're versed in healing, fixing, mending?
She kind of shakes her head. She says, "Afraid not. Not something I've ever seen before. But you do seem to be carrying something on your person that gives off a similar magic to what you are."
He tugs his jacket, like, closed, almost defensively, like, don't you think about taking my Pokeball. Like, and you think that just having this is prohibiting me from shedding this corruption?
She gets a confused look on her face for a moment, and she says, "Scroll?"
Scroll. He's like, oh! This... He digs into his pocket and pulls out his scroll.
Give me an insight check. You don't think she's clocked her Pokeball at all.
Okay. And he kind of holds this up and he's like, this is giving it off. This is just... Did I show her the scroll?
No.
I thought I showed...
You definitely showed her the scroll because you asked if she could read it, and she said,
Oh, right.
Right, okay. She smiles. She says, "Aye, scroll. Do you not know a scroll when you see one, boy?"
What? He like bites his tongue to chastise her about the level of knowledge he possesses, and he's like, does the Sheldon Cooper face when he can't get the words out that he wants to say. He's like, I'm familiar with scrolls. This particular scroll. This is what you mean, though. This is causing corruption.
No. But it's giving off the same kind of magic that you are. Could be something that's tied into that magic that you're tapping into. Maybe it's the answer you're looking for.
Inside the scroll that I can't read and you can't read, and nobody seems to know how to read. And he's going to unravel it and look at it for the millionth time, as if the words are going to magically rearrange themselves in a way that he can understand.
Yep, still can't read it.
Right, so it's surprisingly insightful. Well, thank you. What do I owe you? I don't have much in the way of gold, but I know you typically like to have a little bit of compensation for your services.
She kind of just waves her hand. She says, don't worry about it. It looks like you're going through a lot, mate.
He kind of like slits his eyes a little bit and he's like, doesn't feel like that much, but perhaps you know something I don't.
She shrugs and she says, I only know as much as I can read from what I've gathered. I can't read that, so I think you need to find somebody who actually can.
Well, luckily I do happen to have a friend who's versed in ancient languages, long dead ancient languages. All right. Well, I had to know. I'll keep on keeping on. Thank you, Abuser.
Aye.
And what is it that the people of your order say when you leave, but you hope to see each other again?
She kind of laughs. And she just kind of grins and says, "Fuck off."
Right. Okay. Then may the winds blow favorably in the direction in which you wish to sail, in a way that it catches your sails and propels you in that direction, forward momentum, and fuck off. And he'll turn around and walk away with a friendly wave in the air as he walks off.
There is a there's an uproarious cackle from Mempusa as you turn and walk off, and she seems very pleased with herself. She also turns and retreats back inside the temple.
All right, the professor will head back to the place with the croissants and the cookies and thinks very intensely to himself about how his stomach is rumbling already.
The endless pit that is the professor's stomach.
It's because he's constantly growing.
Meanwhile, back to the market now with Yuki and Ren and Reverie and Jade. What are you guys up to?
Yuki would like to make a beeline for an herbalist.
So you kind of make your way through the main thoroughfare of the city. There are shops of all sorts that are set up. And the one shop that you come across, the herbalist, indeed, is obvious by the different herbs and plants that are kind of hung up in front of the window upside down drying. It is a shop that is called the Tea in the Kettle.
Yeah, aptly named.
Nice.
Yuki's gonna see the name of that shop, and she's gonna fluff up a little bit because she's excited. Her tail's gonna twitch. She's gonna say, "I'm going to go in here. If you'd like to come, you're more than welcome to."
Yeah,
Ben will
okay.
follow, but he's pretty sure they're gonna be there for a while.
Just go on.
Yuki will walk in.
As you walk in, there is a little gnome, uh, little guy. He is behind the counter. He's drying out various herbs. He's crushing them. You see him with a mortar and pestle, just kind of working away. There are various teas in this shop throughout that are brewing. There are buckets of herbs where you can just one of those things where you kind of like scoop it out, put it in a bag, and then you can purchase it that way. All manners of things in here that are interesting to look at. He kind of looks up from behind the counter and nods to you. Says, "Good morning, welcome."
Yuki walks in and she immediately starts purring. This is more herbs in one spot than she's seen in a while, so she is just over the moon delighted. And she's going to say, "Good morning to you, sir. How are you?"
Well, this fine day, I woke up on the right side of the grass.
It's always a good place to be.
Indeed, it is.
I wonder if you might have a couple herbs that I am looking for.
Oh, what is it you're looking for?
Uh, a couple. We are going on a trip, and I want to make sure that we are prepared for anything that may happen. Do you happen to have, and Yuki will list out 6 different herbs that she would like to pick up? Do you want me to put them in chat for you?
Sure.
Ew. While she is naming these to him, she's going to be kind of distracted, looking around at all the barrels and um, kind of smelling each of them. Even if it's not what she's looking for, she will definitely want to investigate. And one more. Six, right?
So many herbs.
Mm,
He
they all
says-
do things.
He says, "Oh, quite a list you have here. Let me see what I can find. In the meantime, if you'd like to look around, please feel free." And he'll kind of start checking his stores out. So you have a moment to talk amongst yourselves if you wish.
Mm. Yuki will turn to everyone, and she's just like glowing, delighted. This is like the happiest you've seen Yuki in a while. And she says, "Isn't it magnificent?"
It smells really nice in here.
There are
Oh.
many options.
All of the blends and the things that you can do with everything in here is just.
It's nice to see you so excited, Yuki.
Oh,
There-
it is. Good.
There's a book somewhere that tells you what all this is for, isn't there?
Oh, there's many books, many different books that will tell you all sorts of herbs and what they're best for and what they help with, for sure. The ones that I gave to the fine proprietor here were just the ones that I have come across in my travels and making my brews, and I think they would serve us well on the road to make sure that they are available should we be beset by certain ailments or situations.
And you remembered all that?
Of course.
Did you write it down? Or was it just in your brain?
She just taps her little head and she says, "It's all up here."
What if you forget it? Or get it wrong?
Well, if I forget it, I guess there are books that will remind me of it. She says, I don't know if that's completely possible. While I do have it all stored to memory, she's going to rummage in her little bag and she's going to pull out this little journal that has definitely seen better days. It's clearly been around for a while. It's dog-eared and the pages are scrunched up and bent back, and it's definitely been used for a lot of things. And she says, "But why use other people's books when you can use your own?" And she has like a mischievous little smile on her face.
Oh, you read it down. Well, that's good.
I find that memory is best, but it's always good to have a backup plan. She's
Yeah, I
gonna
can
wait.
write things down too, because otherwise I'll forget them.
Mm. Is there anything you guys would like to get while we are in the shops area?
I don't know exactly. Do you think I could find something nice for Noriko that doesn't cost more than 12 silver pieces, because I already gave her all my money?
I can't imagine why you wouldn't be able to. I'm sure there are many stores around here many shops and vendors and all sorts of things where we could find something nice. Do you have any ideas of what you might like to get?
Well,
Jade,
she's
you
always...
can have some of your money back.
Well, no, because then now it's everyone's money, and then it would be like, well, now you're buying your own present, and this is my money, so I will get her something with this, or maybe I'll make her something if I can't find something.
Look, I was holding some gold for you anyway, so how about I just help, okay?
Okay, yeah, if it's more than 12.
Okay.
I was thinking maybe like she works really late at night sometimes, and that can't be good for her eyes. So maybe like get her something for her eyes, eyeglasses that maybe can help her see better at night, so she doesn't strain her eyes so much. I just thought, I mean, she does that anyway, and I was just trying to figure out something that might help her with that. Everyone else tends to sleep at night, so I couldn't think of anything else to get anyone. And Oracle already got us all of our friendship bracelets, and I know she's working on the last one, so, you know, this would help her work on the last of the friendship bracelets for everyone. This is not, I'm not getting her a present and no one else a present. I'll get presents for everybody when we get to places that I can get presents for everybody. It's not a favorite thing.
Yuki's
okay.
gonna wrap her tail around Jade as she sees her starting to kind of like wind up.
I promise I'm not a bad friend.
She just wraps her big floofy tail around her and says, "You are the present we need."
Oh, well, that's nice.
After a few moments, the gnome shopkeeper comes back around. And he says, "All right, there are a couple of those things on your list that I do have, and there are some other things that are not on your list that you do have." And he'll tell you that he has these things.
All right. Do, 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 do. She's gonna pull out her little book and she's gonna look. She's gonna look at things and she's gonna look at all of the things that he says that they have that uh, um, that she didn't have on her list. And her tail's just gonna twitch, and you see she's just fluffing up. She's just getting even more excited about the things and the possibilities of what she hadn't even planned on him being able to have. And she's going to say, how much for all?"
It depends on how much you want of each.
Oh, well, maybe of the Bowens, be a dozen. Um, the Elkamat, maybe four. Four of those would probably be good. The morning berry, three should suffice for that. The whistleweed, hmm, how many of those do you think we should get? And she's like muttering all this to herself, kind of like going into like full beautiful mind as she's planning out all these things that she's going to make and create for everyone. She's going to say, well, maybe a dozen of the whistleweed.
All right.
The let's see, the dwarven calf, dwarven cave. Ooh, mm, maybe only one of those. Maybe one of those. And then the dragon's eye. Ooh, man, that's maybe two of those.
Very good. Do you want them brewed, or do you want just the herbs to make it?
Oh no! I do not need them brewed, sir. Thank you for your kindness. I will brew them myself. And she's still purring, like full on, like borderline making biscuits purring.
All right. Give me a moment. I'll total that up for you.
Yuki's like rummaging her bag. She still has her 60 gold pieces, and she's like trying not to like let on that she's like worried she's not gonna have enough money, but she's just gonna kind of have it in her hands and just watch him doing his math.
Jade will just like gently pet Yuki a little bit. Oh, it's okay, Yuki. If you don't have enough, I'll have 12 silver.
No.
Together.
No, that's for Naruto. That's not for herbs. That's for Naruto. You must keep this for Naruto.
We can make more money later. It's okay. It was just a thought because we're out shopping today, and that's really it. So,
I'm sorry.
we just help everyone.
I was distracted thinking about a spell. What?
What spell?
How much gold do you need?
I'm not sure. He hasn't added it up yet.
Yuki just seemed anxious about it.
I hope I won't need any. I hope that I have enough to pay for all of it, so I can make so many wonderful things for you and keep you all safe.
It's she doesn't want to say it's just herbs. How much can they be? Because that seems disrespectful. But she is going like, well, it's if it's too much, can we pick them from outside?
I mean, we could if we could find them. That's the thing. All these herbs they're not all grown in the same spot, or if someone has an herb garden, but you can't steal someone's herbs from an herb garden. They get very, very upset, especially if they're someone as well stocked as this proprietor.
Well, if we found an herb garden and someone had it there, we could always bargain with them.
True.
There's options. Is all I'm trying to say. Like, if for some reason we couldn't get all of it, we could get most of it, and then we could find it elsewhere.
So he calculates everything together, and he says, "All right. Well, if you put everything together, it is 14 gold, 8 silver, and 2 copper. But we'll just round it up to 14 gold and 8 silver."
Yuki is delighted because she has more than enough to take care of this. She says, "Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you." She is going to give him 15 gold.
Oh, well, thank you kindly. Oh, wait, you want
thank
change, don't you?
No, sir. No, please, no. That is for you.
Oh, wonderful. Well, thank you so much.
For my 2 silver.
Right. Remind me, I have 1 dwarven case and 2 dragon's eye. Is that what I said?
So you have...
I've got the dozen bows.
So this is all... So what you have, you got all of the material stuff. So in order to actually make it useful, you have to brew it, which would require you... Yeah, to make the check. So you have 4 servings of Elkamat.
Right.
You have 3 servings of Morningberry.
Yeah.
You have 12 servings of Bowen's flour.
Perfect.
You have 1 serving of Dwarven Caith.
Okay.
2 servings of Earth Dragon's Eye.
Perfect.
And 1 dozen whistleweed.
Perfect. Be afraid. Perfect. So she's gonna take all those things and she's gonna stuff them in her little pouch. She's gonna be delighted. She's just gonna carefully make sure that they are sealed up in their little package and labeled, and she's gonna just very carefully and lovingly kind of tuck them in her bag amongst the other herbs that she has.
So to clarify the whistleweed is something that you would plant, and it kind of sprouts up from the ground, and it will create basically an area of plant that will whistle when something passes through it.
Yep, I know.
So it's not something that you like brew or drink. It's something that you would have to plant.
Oh, I know.
I just clarifying, just making sure.
Oh yeah. No,
Yeah.
no. The shenanigans are in full effect. Don't you worry.
Very cool.
The plotting has already begun, friend.
So, through looking around, through buying these herbs, I think it's about this time that anyone else, if Naruko and Professor are making their way to this area, I think it would be about this time that they would show up.
Yeah. Nariko was going to head to the market in case they needed to draw upon party funds for whatever they were purchasing. And as soon as she saw a shop labeled tea and kettle, she's like, "Yeah, no, Yuki went here." So she'll probably be. She'll like look through the window and confirm that you guys are all in there, and she'll just stand by out by the door until you guys are finished.
Cool. Well, that's all I wanted to do down here. Where should we go now?
I don't know. I don't really know where to go to get maybe something special for Naruko. But, oh. Actually, she's outside. So maybe the next place that we're in, I'll try to look for something.
Ren, as you are dodging around in this shop, I would also like you to give me a perception check.
Okay. There are many items here.
Oh, that one I roll like shit for? Okay, thanks.
I have an inspiration I'll give you.
An inspiration I could use, but I'm not going to. I should save it for the next time a knoll bites me.
I'll tell you what. I want to make this interesting.
Okay.
You have a knowledge of herbs buried deep down somewhere within your mind. I would allow you to roll this with advantage, but you will take a d4 of psychic damage to do so.
Let's fucking go. Hit me with the D4. Zap.
Feels like you're trying to recall something, but it doesn't quite get to you, and you take 3 points of psychic damage.
Oh god.
I thought for sure it was gonna max out. Ow. Ow. I believe it's time for me to leave. I think I hit my head on one of the pots. Ow.
Oh no. As you leave, Yuki is gonna try to move like all the hanging herbs and stuff carefully out of the way for you.
Yeah.
That went well.
Are you okay, Ren? You look like a little hurt.
I believe I was slightly safe at my hard head, but it still does not feel good.
I'm sorry. But do you want? I can. She's like gonna reach up to like hand hover above your skull. Do you want? I can help make it feel better if you need it.
It is alright. It will fade with time, as all things do.
Yeah.
Shut up, Joe.
Comfort. Okay. I guess just bit outside to everyone else then.
Yes.
Alright, so a lot of you make your way out of the shop. You see Naruko in the street. Professor, are you heading towards the market, or are you staying by the cafe?
He probably took a bit of a detour around to get near the cafe to see if any of the leftover food that they had was still on the table to swipe on the way by, but he will make his way over to the
It's at this point it's been a while since you guys left the table, so they would have cleared it off by now.
too goddamn efficient.
I do think we all said we were going to meet back at the cafe, so.
Oh, did you?
If the professor wants to,
Yeah.
have food at the cafe, that was where we were all going to meet back up when we were done with our various...
Yeah, I think that seeing that no one is there yet, that he'll just kind of wander along in that direction to, if they meet up, great. If there's something cool that he sees along the way, maybe that will be cool, or if he finds like a French fry shack or something. Oh, he's just
Oh yeah,
killing some time.
there's street vendors everywhere. It's all cheap. You can get some good cheap street vendor food for like 2 copper.
Yeah, he'll like stop and like ask each one what their signature dish is and their claim to fame on the streets of the city and why it's so great, and then he'll buy one from each of the stalls, and he's like eating from like 8 different like packages. His arms are, by the time they meet up, he's got like 8 different like cartons and packages and wrappers of things that he's eating like out of his arms as he meets up with them. He's like, "Oh hey, there you are."
Oh, hello. We all met
Hello.
here. That's fun. We didn't have to go back to the cafe.
He kind of nods and he's just like chewing. He swallows. Did you know in this town they have something called poutine, where they have French fries with gravy and melted cheese on it? It's fantastic.
Is it like a soup?
It is like no soup you've ever had in your life, because it's nothing like a soup.
I don't understand.
He kind of like looks down and starts digging through the different little packets of food he has in his arms. Like, I would offer you some, but it looks as if I've already eaten it.
Oh, well, maybe we'll find it again somewhere.
Oh yeah, it's definitely somewhere over there. He kind of looks over his shoulder at just like the numerous stalls, and it's like, I don't know which one has that, but I'm sure they still have some. One of them, if you go ask all of them, they're all very friendly.
Oh, well, I don't want to make us late to leave. And we're all here already together, so I suppose we should be on our way.
He like slowly slides a mini donut into his mouth. He's like, we could go back that way, and you could ask along the way.
That's okay. I mean, I don't really. It doesn't seem worthwhile to spend anything on food for me. It could be spent better elsewhere.
He nods slowly, like also like one hand with like a handful of French fries slowly moving up to his mouth, and he just like slowly inserts it into his mouth hole and continues to nod.
Okay, it's weird that you keep making direct eye contact while you're eating things and not saying anything. Did I say something wrong? Are you okay? Did you hit your head? Because Ren hit his head inside a little bit.
No,
I just don't actually eat. So I could have food and it would taste good, but it doesn't actually do anything for me because actually the magic that makes me me kind of just turns it into its base components almost immediately after it's in my mouth, and then it seems a waste of money unless we're actually sitting down for a meal together.
Oh, well, but I mean, the experience. I mean, I could probably subsist on lettuce for my entire life, but that's awful. And where's the fun in that? So, I mean, I don't
Actually,
need
I think
to
you would probably be very nutrient deficient if you tried to eat only lettuce.
Oh, I didn't say it'd be healthy.
Oh, just living. Oh, like survival.
Oh, a life without food's not really living; it's just existing.
Jade, you do taste things that you eat, though, right?
Oh no, I do taste them. It's just that. Oh, I mean, if no one else is hungry and we don't need any food, we don't really need to go get anything. Is all I meant.
The professor just has this look of like pity on his face, and he slowly hands over to her just like what appears to be like a churro dripping in nacho cheese sauce.
Oh, thank you.
You should have that. You deserve it.
Oh, okay. Do you want to share?
Oh, I've already eaten 3.
Oh, okay. What is it?
I don't know, but it's delicious, and I'm pretty sure I can feel my arteries hardening as we speak, and it's glorious.
Oh, are you okay? Do you need me to heal
I'm
you?
fine, it's fine.
Oh,
No,
okay.
It's delicious. Have some. Let's go.
Okay. And she will sniff at and eat the churro that she was given.
It's quite sugary. Nice cinnamon spice to it. Pretty pleasant.
Oh, I like this.
Warm.
This is good.
A little bit of like sugar glaze on it.
She tears off like the end piece and she offers it to anyone else. Does anyone else want to try some?
I will try some.
I'll share it with the group.
The cheese sauce really just ties it all together, really.
Oh boy. Some little bit of shopping out of the way. Yuki's got some herbs to make some tea. You guys gather again in this square, making preparations to move on. Before you guys decide to head out, Newman kind of tugs on your coat a little bit, Naruko, and he says, "Oh, there's one thing I have to give you from your mother. She wanted me to give it to you after she left."
Concerned. Naruko's like, proceed.
He opens this compartment in his little mechanical body and pulls out an item that kind of looks like a decanter. Almost looks like it shouldn't fit inside this little modron, but it does. And hands it over to you.
Naruko will take it and inspect it.
Give me investigation.
I think it's investigation. Roll my cookies. Click, click, paddywhack. That's okay. It's a nat 20 plus guidance plus 7 is 30.
Nice. Jesus.
You absolutely know what this thing is. It smells of wonderful, like, sweet and earthy, warm coffee. And the container itself is warm, and you know that what you're holding is one of these.
Oh, that's a good gift.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh no.
Nice.
I now have coffee forever. Excellent. No sleep. No
Oh my
sleep
God.
in Brooklyn.
Oh my God, Rocket.
Rocket, yes.
Rocket, try the coffee first.
I guess so.
Naruko is not sure why her mother. Like, it's a great gift. She loves it. I don't know why Mom didn't want to be here when I opened it, but she'll just smile as she realizes what she has here, and she's just like, "Aw, thank you, Newman." And I'll be sure to give my thanks to Mother when I next write to her. Well, I am packed for the journey. Narka will turn to her allies and say, anything else that we need before we venture forth again?
I'll have everything.
I'm ready.
Let us go.
All right.
Uh,
Mystic Mechanicus, let's roll out.
Roll out. Newman looks up at you, Narco, and he says, "Do you want me to come, or do you have any messages you'd like me to send?"
Naruko was very busy with Jade, so she did not write that letter to send off just yet.
It's okay if you don't. I can follow you around for a while. I have nowhere else to go at the moment.
Nope, yep, I expect I'll have another mission for you soon, Newman. So yes, just stick close to me, and please, if things have been dangerous on the roads lately, if you see trouble, just fly up and away until I've dealt with it. Really
Kind of
don't want you damaged again.
gives you a salute. And he says, "Yes, ma'am."
Ma'am?
All right. All right.
Let's gather some
And we
tokens.
get this show on the road.
So you
So,
prepare to leave Rockdale behind you. You move your way through the city. Again, it's a nice, pleasant, sunny day. Cool wind blowing off of the water. As you make your way out, the weather stays nice for you. As you pass through the main gates of the city, the Earth Genasi guards still standing by. They smile at you and nod their greeting to you as you pass through. One thing noticeably absent now is the caution poster about the gnolls has been taken down. Doesn't seem to be any need for it anymore. And we move you to the map. So here you are down here in Rockdale. The crossing to Red's Wharf will take a full 8-hour journey. So say you're probably leaving around, let's probably say like around like 10 or so in the morning. You guys make your way, so you'll make it to Red's Wharf by about dinner time. I will say that nothing seems to accost you along the way. You're able to make the journey in peace. So you have a nice stroll through the plains across the path, various trees dotting your way. The smell of fresh grass kind of follows you down as you make your journey. You do have some time to converse amongst yourselves while you head there, if you so choose to do so.
Are there any wildflowers growing along the way while we walk?
Oh yeah, there's plenty of different various flowers and plants that you'll see along the way.
Okay. Since Jade was not able to surprise Narco before the party got back together, she will, as we go along, try to pick pretty flowers for her.
Why don't you give me either a... You know what? Let's call this a nature check.
Nature. Oh! Nat 20. So for 22. Getting the best flowers, guys.
Roll me 2d12.
2d12. Okay.
Gabe has uprooted an entire rose bush and brought it along.
I mean, I might. Um, 20.
Wow. Yeah. You find 20 lovely looking flowers to put into your bouquet.
Okay. So Jade just slowly falls back behind everybody else because she's distracted along the road and picking flowers as she goes along, trying to make a little colorful bouquet that she'll tie up with. She'll take one of the ribbons that are holding one of the skulls, one of the very small skulls that are in her hair, off, and she'll tie it around the flowers to hold them together, so that the little skull is kind of centered, just so, on it. And then she'll catch back up. Norca,
Oh, yeah, yes, Jade?
hi. I made this for you. and she'll awkwardly, like, hand her the flowers.
Oh, this. I saw you were stopping and picking the flowers. I thought you were doing something like with herbalism, like Yuki. Oh, this is for me.
Yeah. I wanted you to have well, I wanted to get you something in town, but we didn't really have too much time, and so bigger present for maybe later. But I thought maybe, if you wanted a memory of everything we did while we're here, and these were pretty, and you were very pretty, and I thought maybe you would like to have them.
Wow. I heard from some of the other noble girls that giving flowers was a thing that special friends did. I'm sorry I didn't think to do so for you sooner.
Oh no, that's okay. I just I was gonna try to find you something that makes you see better when it's nighttime, but so it's not as good as the original present, but I just thought maybe, it'd be a nice memory anyway that you could have, and they also smell nice.
True. You've got quite a lot of them. I
wasn't sure which ones were your favourite, or if any were your favourite, and then I couldn't decide because some of them were really pretty, and I didn't want to. I had already picked them, and then it seemed rude to pick them and then not put them in there. So I've tried to make all the colours different.
can't really say I've ever put much thought into flowers. I don't think I have a favorite, but she looks over the bouquet, and then she sort of picks up each flower one by one and kind of examines it, and she finally picks out one that's got it's primarily white, but it has little black splotches right at the ends of the petals that pull in, and she picks it up and says, I think I like this one. Do you know what it's called?
I have no idea, but Yuki probably knows.
She nods and says, "Oh, I'll ask her, but I think I like this one. It reminds me a lot of you."
I'll remind you of the flower.
Mm-hmm. It matches your color, and it popped up here in my life unexpectedly, but I'm very happy to have it.
Oh, then it is a good memory.
Mm-hmm. And it's one that's going to keep growing.
Yeah. I accept the actual flower is going to die eventually. Because I picked it.
Yeah.
But the memory part of it is yes.
Yes, I'm going to choose to ignore that part of it.
Right, that's not a symbolism of anything. It's just I'm glad you like it.
I'm trying to be poetic about it. I don't know if it's working.
I don't agree with it. I'm sorry.
No, it was me. I tried to push it.
I think you said it was really nice what you said.
Anyway, thank you for the bouquet. Do you want your ribbon back?
No, that can that one's for you too, and I mean, I don't know if that's one of the it's a pixie, and she'll keep watch over you. Not like a creepy way. Like she's not like David, who's aware. It's just if you have trouble, and she'll be able to help you.
You hear from your bag, did you just call me creepy?
I'm not like that. I didn't mean like that, David. I'm sorry. It was two separate sentences. It's not creepy, and it's not like David who can hear and see forever. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it to come out like that. I forget sometimes he can hear me every time I say.
Narco just kind of laughs at it and says, I'm going to put most of these. I'm gonna keep them set aside. When we stop to rest, I'll find a nice little vase of some water that I can put them in, or whatever room we lodge in. And for you, Naruto kind of leans in and gives Jade just a quick kiss. Thank you for being thoughtful of me.
Thank you for you.
And she's gonna say, be back a second. And sort of like runs forward to the front of the party. Yuki, I have a question, real quick.
Yeah. Yes, Naruto.
This flower, this one right here, what is this called?
Describe it again.
Generally like white center coloration, and then like splotches of black at the tips that kind of bend a little bit towards the center.
She's gonna look at the flower, look at the stem, look at the leaves. She's gonna go, "Oh, well, this is a very wonderful wildflower. They only really found in this region, not really found many other places. It's a very, very special flower. It is called an ink starburst flower."
Ink starburst. It's very pretty.
And since I'm going to guess that this flower is pretty special to you, once it begins to show signs of wilting, if you bring it to me, I can show you how to press it between the pages of a book. That way it will always stay as it is right now, just a little flatter.
That would be excellent. I am definitely going to come to you for that service. Thank you. That was my only question. Are you well? Has the traveling agreed with you?
With me? Oh,
yes.
fine. Oh, I'm fine. I nothing like a good stretch of the legs.
Did you find? Were you able to find all of the herbs that you wanted at the shop? It seemed like it was within your budget, so I was just checking if you.
Oh, it was wonderfully within my budget, but unfortunately, no, I did not find all of them that I was looking for. But that's okay. We are going to be traveling quite a few places, so you never know when it's going to turn up. I will just have to keep my eyes open for herbalist shops and keep my fingers crossed that we will find one.
Your teas and your brews have been quite wonderful so far, and health benefits have been very economical as well. So I approve wholeheartedly.
Well, wait till you see what I have up my sleeve next. And she's gonna kind of wink and look mischievous.
I am prepared to be surprised and amazed and thoroughly impressed.
How about you, Naruko? How is the traveling for you? Are you well?
I am. There's so much to do, but I feel more and more like I have the means to do so. More confidence, more refined tools and experience. I feel like we're going into Red's Wharf. We know that there are troubles there already, but I think we can do the good that we've been doing so far as the Mystic Mechanics.
We have faced trouble before and come out on top, so there's no reason for us to think that it would be any different. Positivity is key, Naruko.
Yes. Meanwhile, Neville is over here saying, like, I am just throwing up death flags with all of this right now. But yes, she'll respond and say, yes.
No idea what you could paint.
Thank you for your guidance and your wisdom and your martial prowess. You really paid back those gnolls tenfold for that trouble on the road. That's for sure.
Oh, that's what they get for trying to mess with Mystic Mechanicus, yes?
Ugh. Well, I will contact you later when I am ready to do a little bit of flower pressing. And she'll
I'm here whenever you are ready.
fall back a bit and she'll match stride with Jade to just chat for the journey.
All right. Anybody else like to do anything? Going once, going twice. So, as a group, you make your way to the southeast, towards Red's Wharf, as the sun begins to sink in the sky, casting colors of purples and oranges and reds across the western sky. You can see the city start to rise up in front of you, but there is a curious thing on the road. Before you get to the gates, you see a small campfire built in front of a wagon that looks very similar to the one that you saw outside of Crystal Cove.
The colorful wagon with the people outside talking about like the end of the world.
Yeah. You see.
Oh, good. I was worried it was a different wagon.
You see a man.
There's only so many.
See a man and two women dressed in billowy, flowing garb and colors matching this this wagon that's done in purples and pinks and all sorts of other bright colors. They all have long, wild hair tucked into bandanas. They're all just kind of sitting around this campfire. They appear to be just resting there. As you make your way closer, they kind of pay you no mind as you approach. If you decide to walk past them, that is up to you.
We say hi.
You can if you wish. I don't have anything particular to discuss with them.
I don't really know what to say either. I think the last time we saw them, they were just talking about. They were trying to warn everyone about the end of the world. Kielna said that they do it every couple of years. So I'll just wave so that they know that. I'll just wave. That way they don't feel like we're ignoring them, and it's polite. Just wave as we pass, just like a hi.
You kind of catch their eye, and they smile and they wave cordially back to you. They have smiles on. They're not professing the doom and gloom that you heard them talking about outside of Crystal Cove. Like I said, they're just kind of sitting around this campfire. They're cooking a meal, just having a sit in front of their wagon, or their mule-drawn wagon.
Is it the same wagon and the same people?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna leave that. Keep on walking.
Continuing towards the city, you approach the gates. Gates are open. They don't seem to be guarded. Passing through these gates, a sprawling port city rises before you. The airy air carries the scent of salt from the sea while seagulls cry out overhead. Amid the colorful condo-style homes around you at the edge of the city, there is a clamor of people heading towards the square of the outer harbor, where you can see a large crowd is starting to gather. I'll move you to the map. You guys are up here.
Is there a festival here too?
From your vantage point, you can kind of see straight down here, and it's kind of in this square where you see that a clamoring of people is starting to gather.
Should we follow the people?
Would be a good idea.
Can I make some sort of... You keep saying a clamoring of people. Can I make some sort of, like, check on the vibe of all these people? Like, what's going on?
Why don't you give me a perception check?
Okay. Oh. That's a 1. Jade's still thinking about the people in the caravan back behind him and going, oh, I wonder if the end that they were all worried about is passed over now. And Karen has said that they do it every couple of years, so that's probably why they're not worried anymore. That's nice. It's good that they don't have to worry.
As you
people and
as you filter in to the city, there are people kind of coming out of their homes. They're gathering in this main thoroughfare. They're all kind of gathering, moving towards the outer harbor square that you can see on the map here. There's a lot of talk amongst all of them. Unfortunately, you're not able to make out any one particular voice or kind of get a beat on what the mood is, but it's you do get like there's a sense of curiosity.
Alright, I'm not at all concerned, so I will keep on going. Curiosity is a good thing.
As you enter the city, though, I will allow anybody to make a perception check.
Oh, let's see if my rolls get any better. I can't wait. It rolls all night. Anybody got something good? Nope, no, we do not. Nothing good.
Wait, I'm coming.
I'm just gonna... Oh my god. It is so funny if we're all rolling super low. Just the professor. Professor's good. The rest of us are just like, yeah.
Professor Naruko Yuki. Through the kind of general murmuring that you hear through the crowd, there are some things that you're able to pick out, which I will message to you all individually.
Secrets.
Oh god.
I can't bear to tell you what I've heard, so I'm just going to whisper it into Mars's ear, and he'll loudly exclaim it in surprise for everyone.
That is true.
That's 1. I'm whispering in roll 20, by the way. I'll let you know when all whispers have been sent.
Jade's just gonna keep talking as we go along, just curious and excited about what we could be finding here in this new town.
Mm-hmm.
Surely it's gonna be good, right? Definitely not gonna be anything like Crystal Cove. There's no sentinels here. Fine. It's all fine.
Oh, come on.
Oh, look, another flower. This was the same dice that rolled a nat 20 right beforehand on the last roll, and then it rolled a nat 1.
Right.
Balance.
Comedy.
Whispers have been sent.
Haha.
Naruko will kind of turn to her companions and say, I'm worried that we might be showing up just in time to see some manner of judicial punishment.
What do you mean?
I think they may have caught someone related to the break-ins.
The Blades Guild or the cult?
That's what we should endeavor to find out.
Okay.
Still moving towards the square.
Yep. You're kind of like filtering in with a crowd of people. As you get closer and closer to the square, the crowd begins to grow in size.
As they walk along, the professor is just going to casually stop someone by like laying a hand on their shoulder as he's about to pass them. He's like, what's going on up there? Who do they have? What's happening here?"
So a uh, human male, human female, turns to look at you. She's got kind of a square face, brown mohawk, brown eyes, roughish skin, and she looks at you, Professor, and she says, "Oh, they finally caught one of those thieving Garnet Hand criminals red-handed. They're
Melded hand criminals.
yeah,
Right.
Captain
Garnet Hand?
Ursa's going to be doling out some justice in the square."
Oh, lovely. I was wondering when they get caught. Thanks. And he just sort of catches up to his compatriots and just relays what he just heard.
Hmm.
I don't really like the sound of it.
I'm
What does that
guessing-
mean?
I'm guessing that's the Satari person that I heard someone speaking about.
Most likely. Let's get up there before anything rash happens. I have a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, me
Same.
too. Okay. Okay.
All right. Give me a moment. I will put you on the new map. As you begin to enter into the square, I would like you to please give me a marching order. And what
Oh,
are we
fuck.
Doing? And what are we doing with Newman?
Newman, this is kind of a crowded area, so I'm going to have Newman just kind of like hovering up and kind of following along the rooftops.
Okay.
You'll be either in the front or right up in the front.
Narco tends to, again, ranged combatant, always stays in the front anyway.
I think Jade is right behind Narco.
Ren was distracted. He'll end up wherever.
Fair.
He wasn't hearing shit. He's not seeing shit. He's just like, oh, it's a city.
The professor is too curious for his own good, so he's probably walking like pretty much side by side or just a little bit behind Yuki. Why did that name escape me? I don't know. I don't know what happened. I just lived for a moment.
All right.
I'll go in the back.
Okay.
Oh, my stomach.
I'll move you to the map, and I'll describe what you see. So you guys are on this side of the map here. As you approach the square of the outer harbor, the crowd grows massively in size and sound. Everyone is gathered in front of a makeshift gallows where a tiefling woman stands with her wrists tied behind her back, ankles tied together with a short slack between them, and a hangman's noose slipped around her neck. Guards stand in front of the gallows with archers posted on nearby rooftops as the guard captain checks the tiefling's ropes. A priest stands beside her, quietly offering prayers.
What color are those tieflings' eyes?
Give me a perception check.
Oh, you know I'm perceptive as fuck.
Oh yeah, you are.
The tiefling on the gallows. I'll enlarge the token for you. What you see is a white-skinned tiefling with white horns, wearing kind of gray garb. Her eyes are red.
Well, there they are. Can I do a check to see if there are anyone in this crowd or in the surrounding area that just seems a little bit shifty? Like they're not just there to watch someone get their neck wrung.
Give me an insight check. As you look around, Professor, there is kind of a mixed emotion throughout the crowd. Some are there out of curiosity. Some appear to be there and kind of intently watching. The guards, as you clock them, look like they're doing their job. You could spot some archers on some of the rooftops that are kind of in the same mindset. Uh, but outside of that, you don't really notice anybody who is like squeamish or acting strange. Actually, let me make a roll real quick. Um, yeah, so kind of what you see is there are, like I said, that mixed emotion throughout the crowd. Uh, like I said, some anxious to see what's about to happen, some kind of standing around curiously, others kind of watching, uh, almost as if like they're watching something they don't really want to be watching but can't turn away. Those are kind of
Does anybody
the emotions that you get from the crowd.
look upset?
Why don't you give me an insight check?
Blah, blah, blah. Insight. Boop. Beautiful. So glad I had a +5 to that.
Right?
Jesus Christ.
Can't really get a good read on anybody, Yuki.
Yeah. No, I can't.
So I'm
Can
not
I make
really
an
from
insight
here,
check?
but
On the
Right.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
So I'm not really from here. It's this type of public lynching common. Where I'm from, this sort of thing has been done away with.
No, not common.
Jade is just slowly starting to stop breathing as she's following Narco through the crowd, and she says, I don't think we can let them do that.
I do not think we want to fight all of these guards in this entire square.
And the
become,
archers at the rooftops.
not to mention becoming criminals ourselves for interrupting the justice here.
Can I do a perception check on the tiefling as I'm getting closer? What does she look like?
First, I will tell Narco you are not picking up anything magical, other than what's on you and your companions.
Okay, good.
Jade, what are you looking for?
I'm looking at the tiefling.
And what do you?
What does she look like? What are her emotions right now?
If you're trying to gauge emotion, that would be an insight check. If you're trying to gauge physical traits, that would be perception.
I'm going for emotion.
Give me insight.
Alright, cool. 18 on the die, plus 7. 25.
She looks annoyed and defiant.
Okay. I'm a little less immediately worried for her safety right now, if she looks annoyed.
Naruto would like to talk with this guard here. He's like, "Hello there. Sorry, we just arrived in town. I just wanted to know, was this an event that had been planned all day?"
As you approach the guard, he grips his spear and turns in your direction. He's not like brandishing it at you or anything, but the implication is there that he wants you to keep your distance. And he says, Hi, Captain Ursa caught one of the guard at hand, and is about to uh, enact her sentence.
Oh, when did that capture happen?
About an hour ago.
Sentence, you say?
Yes.
That's a very quick trial that I've ever heard of.
Shall I know that she's part of it if she just called her an hour ago? Ah,
Right.
my token's moving everywhere.
Oh. Yeah. Narco. Yeah, I don't think she's got any better way to do this than just this. Narco is going to put herself right here in the front, and it's a good thing she's wearing her nice dress today, so that she can look very, very noblewoman-y.
With her bouquet of flowers.
And she's going to gonna make some enemies right off the bat. Gonna call up directly to Captain Ursa and say, "Excuse me, I don't believe there's been a trial done yet. Going a little fast here."
As you call out, you see Captain Ursa begins to turn towards you. As she begins to turn, the rest of you kind of, no one really catches this, but you feel that there is kind of a hand that gently grabs the back of your shoulder, and kind of in the midst of this crowd, there is there's a female half-elf who look a little bit like this. She kind of gently puts a hand on your shoulder and pulls you back a little bit, not like forcibly, but enough so that she can get close to your ear. And she says, "It's kind of you to try to stand up for somebody like this, but you'll be getting yourself into quite a bit of trouble if you go forward with what I think you're planning."
Narco kind of stiffens up. She keeps her nice, polite smile on, and one hand is like down on her revolver, ready to shoot this lady. And she'll just sort of whisper back, "All I'm planning is to get our lovely girl up there a decent lawyer before they start chopping heads."
Luckily, we have one. Kenneth?
I know a guy.
I know a guy! I do!
With that, in the midst of this tense scenario, it's past 11 o'clock. I think we can stop here for the evening. Because the resolution of this is going to run quite a bit, so I don't want to keep anybody too late tonight.
Fuck. Alright. Is the professor actually over there by the stairs?
Oh yeah, he saw that Naruko was moving up to like the center of the crowd, so he got off to the side. He's like, "Well, it's entirely possible that a fight's going to break out, and I want to flank the captain."
Yeah, that's why
Oh,
Yuki
yeah.
went to the other side too.
Ren is
but
still like, what the
Professor
fuck?
went behind the guards.
Yeah, well, he's sneaky
Crazy
like
like a
that.
fox.
Why don't everybody give me a quick perception check?
Okay, sure. This has been going so well for me tonight.
Same.
I can imagine how it would be terrible.
28.
You dice. Fuck you, making me a liar.
Ren, Yuki, Jade, basically everybody except the professor. No, actually no. Professor got 11. Okay. Professor, as you kind of slip behind to this position, behind the guard, close to the stairs, you notice that two of the archers, the one to the north and the one to the south, both have their longbows trained on you immediately. They have the bows pulled back, the arrows locked and loaded. They're not doing anything, but they're immediately trained on you. And you can see the guard at the corner kind of watching you as you approach too.
He can watch. He can watch all he likes, baby. You're gonna
It's
see
inhospitable.
floof in the wind if we're gonna fucking get froggy and jump.
Guys, we're level 2. Can we not?
Hey, they just said they caught this woman an hour ago. An hour ago,
Oh shit.
for a woman that we've been told has a chip on her shoulder and is trying to prove herself, and this garnet hand business is getting out of hand, and they just caught in quotation marks someone an hour ago that just so happens to be part of it after not catching them for so long.
They had to get the gallows out. Like, they don't just have this out and ready like every week.
Right? Like, this is not an everyday thing.
Well, you don't know that.
I mean, we don't.
I was gonna say, you don't know what these people do. They might be
It's
all
true. It's
sorts
Red
of-
Dwarf. It's rough down here, but
Right.
still, it seems fishy.
And
It's not high
Mom,
enough for this bullshit.
and in some of her letters, Mom may or may not have admitted to having some dealings with these people and generally finding them useful. So, conflicted. Anyway,
Jake's more concerned about the tied up woman about to die.
She'll be fine.
I don't think we will.
She's some people are just regular people. She can have like 4 hit points.
Yeah.
I mean, if the lady behind Narco has her own plan to resolve this situation, she's all ears. Otherwise, Narco's gonna start being a Karen and insisting that proper protocol has not been followed here.
Yep.
I can't wait. Alright, good job flanking everybody.
Yeah. Felt that coming.
Oh god. It's always the last 10 minutes we get somewhere and it's like, "Hey, by the way, angst about this for a week."
Yep, pretty much.
God. Oh god. Are we seriously about to like pop off on the captain of the guard and all the guards in this town?
It looks like it.
We might.
I mean,
Maybe. The option is there to talk and like figure shit out.
Parlay
Okay,
is
well,
always
go
an
ahead and
option.
talk.
Yeah.
Sounds
Narco
boring.
started? Narco started talking?
Narco's talking. It would take a lot to convince her to actually draw weapons on the fucking town guard.
Mm-hmm.
Takes
This
a
bitch
lot,
may
but
have
not impossible.
she may have an idea. See what this half elf have to say. She may have some. They may be already planning some shenanigans that we are not privy to, and may be handling it. So it's fine.
Okay.
Maybe.
They may already be handling it.
She could just be a concerned citizen who's just like,
Mm.
"Hey, you look new. You're gonna get got."
She could be, but she could also not be.
You're gonna get got.
Could also not be. She may be a member of the Garden Hand too. You never know.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm with-
not till next week.
Just suddenly, Edward's old girlfriend appears out of nowhere. Just swipes the keys. She's like 315, and she's still rocking it out. All right. Nominations for RP.
Is there anybody that doesn't have 2 inspirations right now?
I have
I
one.
have one.
I mean, I only have
got
one
one.
too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you look at us.
Zero.
We spent some when we were fighting the gnolls.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
That's right. All right, yeah, nominations.
Yuki, absolutely breathless over tea time.
Yes.
Was very cute.
She's so happy.
so floofy happy.
She was very, very cute.
The bottomless hole that is the professor when it comes to food. Jade fumbling her way through meeting the parents.
Yeah.
47 seconds.
Yeah.
He had some fun stuff tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. I really liked. I also really liked Ren. Just the small Renisms that keep happening of just trying not to get tangled up in herbs, failing his perception checks about
Zach is
things.
very big, and
Essentially
his eyes
part.
are very fiery.
Yeah. Yuki being super excited about the herbs was a really big one, and then Narco with her mom trying to like get her on board of like, hey, by the way, we need to help a devil. It's fine. I'm fine. I'm totally fine. I am not mesmerized by a devil, but we really should do this. Like that was good. I thought that was really fun. And just expanding on all the things and the research that Naruko's done throughout has been really good. But definitely I think Yuki for her just excitement over herbs.
Well, it's what she loves.
There was also a nice little aside that Reverie had with Alatar in the chat.
Oh yeah, asking about Katerina.
Yeah, true.
At the minute the book was like, I mean, yeah, you could probably trust her as long as it doesn't come to money, and Reverie just shuts her book.
Not helpful at all.
That was good.
You should just give us all inspiration.
I do think I'm leaning towards Jade and Naruko, though.
For our awkwardness.
Yeah, the awkwardness and Naruko just jumping on with the planning and contracting. There was a lot going on there.
Able to mouth shut.
Yeah.
Now, basically anything.
The whole new relationship energy going on here.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of new relationship energy happening.
Oh, Jade was comfortable enough to take out David and do her calling home with.
That's true.
Ooh, that was a big moment too. Yeah.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah. On the table.
All right.
For everyone to see. On the table. Although I will also say the professor going to the temple as well.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say that too. The
professor going to the temple and being so like exasperated, but like, I need your help and I can't tell you you're dumb. Because he's just like, yeah, the void. You know the void. This forbidden ancient magic and history that's been scrubbed from reality and anyone talking about it. You know what that is, right? You don't. Well, figure it out because I need you to help me.
Put it in terms I can understand. It appears you have a little bit of a magic scurvy about you.
All right, guys, I gotta go to bed.
Have a good night.
Okay.
All right, good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night,
Love you.
everybody.
Good
Good
night,
night.
honey. Love you.
So what did we learn tonight?
New relationships are fun and parents are terrifying, even when they're not demons. Devils. Sorry, Dad.
I learned that Naruko's new favorite flower is an ink starburst.
Oh.
Aww.
It was confirmed for me that the professor absolutely cannot stand not knowing a piece of information.
He needs to know.
Drives him crazy.
Drives him insane.
Why would
And
I
he
not?
has possession of this thing that he has no idea anything about. And here he is traipsing about the countryside, holding on to his this one thing he can't get his hands around is the only thing that he can physically get his hands around.
Hey, you know that thing you can't read? Probably super helpful to whatever it is you're going through.
Oh
What?
man.
But I.
Straight to Sepka with it. And if he's a dick about not reading it, then he's going to be very sad.
Honestly, Sepka probably won't be able to read it, but he might direct you to that one Sphinx at the library who knows a lot of languages. Also, Reverie has comprehend languages in her list, I'm fairly certain.
All right.
Let me double check. I'm pretty sure because I almost always take that. Yes, I do.
Yeah, you took almost exclusively utility spells, so I would be shocked if you did not have it.
Yeah, I have Ice Knife and Magic Missile, and literally everything else is utility.
That is a good point.
You have mage armor or shield at least?
I did take Shield.
Yeah, it's something.
Yeah, I mean, maybe one day I'll build a combat wizard.
It will not be this day.
Reverie will be a combat wizard at level 5. I can take Fireball. It's fine.
It's like, yeah, just fireball.
Still have no offensive cantrips for when you run out of this. Just
Nope.
hello,
No,
Dagger,
no.
my old friend.
No, that's usually my 4th cantrip, is the offensive one. So I think I get that at level 3. I don't remember exactly, but I get it soon, and then I'll have an offensive cantrip. And then it'll be useless because it'll be like Shotgun Grasp, and I will be 60 feet away from people.
Well, you've got a familiar that doesn't trigger reactions. Is that the owl? That doesn't.
Yep.
No, that's by
Yep.
Flightly. Yeah. You're fine.
I keep for whatever reason, my brain keeps thinking that the professor is like a bard, but he's not. He's a wizard cleric.
Yeah.
And then I remember, like, oh right, half of our party is clerics.
Yep.
I only took it for the AC.
There are worse reasons to take it. I mean,
know what you're
knowledge
about, bud.
domain has some useful stuff for what you do, for sure.
Well, that and the proficiencies. I wanted to get as many as I could off the hop.
Trying to do a true jack of all trades.
Mm,
Well, at least we won't be surprised when the guards start firing on us.
Did not put up Shield of Faith first, so.
Nope.
I feel like the second he starts moving his hands around in some kind of hooey-wooey sort of manner, he's going to start eating arrows.
That's because you went behind the lines, man.
What are you doing back here? This is not where I parked my horse.
No, this isn't my house. Yeah.
That almost never works.
All right.
The keyword there is almost never works.
We need to sign off to end this thing.
Hey!
It was so loud it went off the scale.
It went off. It stopped. It stopped working. That's
Didn't
so
register.
Whoops. Well, that's a goddamn penisy shame.
funny.